It's your show.
I hate my show. I've ever told you guys that I'm a self-hating podcaster. All I do is come on here and talk about how I actually don't like games. Has everyone had that routine yet so far? That's my new shtick. I'm going to be a stand-up comic. All
There
right,
you
so
go.
here we are. Metal Gear Resurrections, top 10 games of the year of the year of our Lord 2024. Which I don't know what's going to happen in the new year. We'll probably all just melt.
I was gonna say it could be our last game of the year ever because it could, the world could end. Who knows?
Well, if it
Uh,
ain't first, you're last.
So I'm here. I'm joined with Adam, aka Mr. Cropes of Adam and Sam at the Disco Podcast. And I'm also joined by E Holmes 91, aka Eliot of the Superfan site Enola Holmes. Also Astro Bot and Balatro Deviant and Connoisseur. Very sense in the Italian Renaissance Fair way. Yeah, Eliot. I said his name twice now. But yeah, we're here to talk about top 10 games of the year. Are we starting number one and then going down to 10? Is that what we're doing?
No. Reverse order.
We're
We're
at the
going
bottom.
10.
I know, I'm just joking, guys.
All
All right, number 10.
Okay,
And
so wait,
since I'm
let's
put on the spot. Go ahead.
explain. I'll explain the
Go
format.
ahead.
All right, so
Yes.
this is a few other podcasts have done this, and I think it's a good. We're gonna go around. The three of us are each gonna
Yes.
say our number 10, and so Johnny's gonna say his number 10, and then if that were to be higher on mine or Adam's list, we'd say higher on our list, and we don't say shit about it until it comes around to us, till the highest person has it. So
Okay. That sounds
Who
good.
is the highest person?
So we're taking a format that everyone else has done, but we're just going to make it better than they
Lots.
have.
Yes,
That's the game
naturally.
plan, what we're going to do. So,
That's what we do
we're
here.
exactly the same.
yes, we're also
Nope.
being listened to in Kentucky as well. I don't know why. Kentucky's a big listener.
Whoa,
What's up,
live?
Kentucky?
They're on the Zoom call. They're listening live. Holy shit!
Number
I
10,
didn't know we'd have drones here.
which no one's gonna fucking have on their list. Here we go. Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. Does anybody
All
have
right.
that great game?
Nope.
No,
That's what
no,
I
it's
thought.
all you, Johnny.
All right, so Rocksteady Studios. This shit came out in fucking February 2nd of 2024. So that's technically a this year game.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, for sure.
But it just got fucking waylaid and thrown down the chute of garbage of life as suspected. But you know what? For me, this game had a shit ton of potential. If this was done 5 years ago, it probably would have been someone's list in top games. Maybe people don't understand what a co-op game is, how graphically it's going to be very reduced. But on top of that, it is an actual living, breathing city. I've played other games where we were promised that and never received any iota of that. Like, you can play this game, there are ground troops, there are fucking people flying in the air searching for you. There's a giant fucking brainiac scanning the entire city just for you. Wherever you go, underground, above ground, in the sky, it's just swarming with fucking villains nonstop. And the idea was that you were supposed to enjoy this game with at least three other people. I'm guessing they fucking took the idea of like James Gunn's like Suicide Squad, like that's a good idea. Let's fucking roll with that and make it into a game. Unfortunately, it failed. Especially sucks because it's also like voiced by the late great Kevin Conroy, who came back for Batman before he passed away. So, there was a lot of potential after this recent season 4 pass with Deathstroke. They were supposed to like make another story where you're gonna fucking rescue everybody. And to me, it had good visuals. Graphic wise, yes. It's a four-player co-op. There's gonna be hindrance. It's gonna hit. But for a fucking game from these people, it is the top that they can do at that point. And that's it for me. Like I enjoy the fuck out of it. Many people probably didn't. I saw the numbers. It's abysmal. But for me, it is the lowest point of my list. That's why it's number 10. It cannot go higher. It can only go lower. But for like the purpose of the story itself, from the people who made like the Arkham trilogy, I thought the story was actually pretty good to continue forward with this kind of like new story. But if this was another time, it may have been successful.
How how is like the gunplay and all that in this game? Because I think that's one thing that's kind of held me back from wanting to play it was if the main
Hmm.
mechanic of the game being shoot doesn't feel good. Like I kind of don't want to play it. Like I've wanted to play it because for all the reasons that
Hmm.
you've said, it's Rocksteady, it's Arkham,
Yeah,
it's Batman. Like it's the continuation of that. But if the shooting doesn't feel good, I don't know. I'm a little lost.
the shooting actually is pretty good. Um, it leaves you like obviously with like long range weaponry, short range like pistols. You also have like kind of like a melee kind of like depending what character you're playing as. If you're like what's his name, Deadshot, he literally has like fucking like shotguns like on his wrist that he would use like kind of like a melee thing where it's like it could also be like a last minute thing where like oh shit I'm kind of fucking dying, this is gonna save me. But weaponry wise, it's wide range. You could be like fucking that King Shark dude, and he has like a fucking minigun, and it feels how it would be to operate a minigun because he's the big guy, make it a little bit
Sure.
slower, but you pack a bigger punch against the enemies.
All right. I mean, this has been on sale for so long that I need to pick it up.
It's probably gonna
I'm
be on
not even gonna make
sale
the joke that
until
like I play
like
bad games, but
it's probably gonna be on sale
I
till like they close it out on the servers.
oh I think you can't see my screen because it's too shiny, but I'm literally on the Steam cart right now. It's on his number 10. It's the digital deluxe edition is $5 on Steam.
Hmm.
Agree and purchase. I bought it. There we go.
Oh shit,
all right. Is it? We've got to find out if it's crossplay now. Because if it is, I'll go buy the bitch.
There we go. Yeah, that sounds like a. Have you been playing on Steam Deck?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
That's pretty much like what I've been playing most of my games.
Sweet. All right. Who's going next? You or me, Adam?
I'll go. I'll go next, just because I know that mine is going to be higher on your guys' list.
Oh boy.
So my number 10 is Balatro.
Where do you have that, Elliot?
That's actually not on my. I'm kidding. You don't. I'm not gonna say where it's on my list, but it is
It's
definitely.
also on my list too.
Higher.
It is on my list higher. So.
Yeah.
All right. So I will go last then, and I am going to say my number 10 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I just gotta double check on my list. That is a negative.
No, no,
Nope.
Adam. You didn't. It
No,
didn't end
this
up on your list.
no, this is one that I really addressed earlier, and I think my complaints for it put me out. So if it's yours, you have the floor, and I'll elaborate further after.
So did you say this was on your honorable mentions or not even?
No, no,
Oh,
it's one of them that fell out.
okay. It was actually I texted you guys right before,
Mhm.
like literally 45 minutes ago, and I said I made a switch, and it was this because it actually was on my honorable mentions, and then it went to number 10. So basically, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been so long coming. The idea of the Final Fantasy remake, all this stuff. I love Final Fantasy, the remake that came out a few years ago. I just played that pretty recently when I got my PS5, but really loved that. Was really excited for Rebirth. I was a little nervous because the part that Rebirth is of the original game is the most nothing quick part, and I was like, how are they going to make this a 40 to 60 hour game? And that is the issue because it's bloat, bloat, and more bloat. Like if this
That's
game was half the length, it would probably be top 5 because some of the things are just so amazing. You got the music, of course, is incredible. You have the twist on the original story. Some of it's pretty great. Ending notwithstanding, but TBD how they finish that out. Combat's really fun once you get the hang of it, like really, really fun. Um, and when you have the graphics settings right, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous game. So I enjoyed it a lot of it, but there were so many parts that were so damn frustrating that it was like literally some aspects of this game were 10 out of 10 for sure. Some aspects of
yeah,
this game, Kate sit box throwing, I'm looking at you, are
right.
literally some of the worst experiences I've ever had in video games, and that's not hyperbole. So there
I
you
feel
have
like
it.
that level is a big part of it, like keeps it down for me.
Yeah,
There's not a lot like difference that I've got to say about it. I think the bloat is definitely a thing. So like in my giant bomb like list, I actually referenced the fact that Dragon Age also felt bloated to me. But in this, the bloat was like mini games and shit like that. Like there was a lot of things that it forced you to do that you didn't really want to. While I feel like Dragon Age has like enough side content to make up for every mini game in this fucking game. Um, I think also this game is like so visually compelling that like we're done. Like between Rebirth and Alan Wake 2, we're done. We don't need to go any further in fucking graphics. I think this is exactly where we need to stay and do whatever the hell art style you want to do to iterate on that. But like these two games here are just peak visual. So, like you said, Elliot, like it really kind of depends on what mode you play on. I never did the swap over like I did in Final Fantasy 16 to Fidelity, just because I really liked how smooth, even often like not great, that Rebirth could look when it was still in 60 frames per second.
Yeah, I
And
always
even then, like there wasn't a lot of difference between the two modes that I could really note.
Yeah, I thought it looked very muddled in a lot of places on the
Yeah,
uh, performance mode. So I played at 30 frames per second fidelity. It's one of the few games that I just couldn't get past the look, the mud, like the difference in some of the environments. So
like I'm almost surprised that they also haven't released Queen's Blood as its own thing yet,
yeah, yeah, that was
because
good.
I think a ton of people would buy that.
All right, so on to number 9, Johnny. What you got?
Here we go, boys. Number 9, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Does anyone have that? Take a pause.
I don't.
Shit. See, this is why I'm gonna get the side eye look from you guys. Here we go. Unbroken Studios. This shit was released in September 3rd. That felt so long ago, and it felt very buried. For a game that like I have no fucking knowledge of Harry Potter whatsoever, just on I think Eliot like I don't know, he put his 2 cents into it, saying that he was somewhat interested, and I was like, oh cool, it's got crossplay and all that crap. I went into it like blindly. I was like, I'm probably not gonna enjoy it. It's probably gonna be like I buy it, I don't play with it afterwards. Like the many other games I've done in the past like several years. But you know what? This game is like a beautiful blend of two different type of gameplay styles. If you enjoy like fucking the Ace Combat games, for especially with the flying, and if you enjoy NHL games, especially for the way the game plays out, um, both on offense and defense, this is like that beautiful mesh. The controls didn't seem that too like difficult, especially on Steam Deck. I didn't see like it didn't really mess with me versus like controller because Steam Deck's like wider based. At the time when I played it, I think it had like maybe 3,000 people. That doesn't really
Damn.
sound that like great, but I think it's because of just the way it came out when it came out. It's just like this is not going to happen. It's just going to get buried. But it's really enjoyable. The matches are between, depending how aggressive you are on offense and defense. They can last between 5 to 20 minutes. But you know what?
Yeah,
At the time when it came out, those were quick matches. I was maybe going like 10 minutes for each match, and I was like playing maybe maybe like 6 matches a day. Just like fucking trying to level up and get shit off the WB store. Like, you notice like so far my 10 and 9 are both from Warner Brothers. So like, David Zaslav called me and he asked me to be a mensch for him. And I was like, oh, anything for you, my boy. Anything for you. But you know what? This game is actually really enjoyable. It does bring you back to kind of like, for me, back to the PS2 days.
for
I would say like it made me feel like going back being in high school again and like kind of like couch playing with my friends. That's the way it felt, and it was really enjoyable. Like, if people want to still play it, if people are still playing, don't knock it, try it. Hopefully it's on sale or just get it cheaper. It's like don't pay the full price like I did. But
It's
no, it's
still
a really
on
enjoyable game.
still
It's
on
actually pretty good.
PlayStation Plus as well. So
It's still on there.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, good.
when I played it, and I played it, and
Mhm.
liked it at the beginning, but it was going to be controls. It was going to take such a time commitment to even get used to those controls.
Yeah.
I never got back around to it. So it is a game I put a good 3-4 hours into it, but
Yeah, because I think it messes with you because like there's points where it's like you're supposed to be you're elevating and like going down. Like it does not feel like you're doing that at all. It just feels like straight line. Like, I need more movement and feels on that shit. It's like, am I going higher or am I going lower? What the fuck's happening? So, I
Sure.
mean, control-wise, maybe it needs like a little fine-tuning.
I haven't played it, but I think I've got it. Like Elliot said, it's on PlayStation
Mm.
Plus, so I know that I've at least picked it up there, but I don't even know if I actually installed the thing.
Adam, we'll just keep same order. Adam, number nine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I know this is on nobody's, but I don't know if it'd be a shock that it's on mine. WWE 2K24. And I think
No,
that's for
it
a lot of the
almost
reasons that Johnny said.
almost be the cut.
Yeah, right. Um, I think like this is just a good way for me to pick back up with this series. I don't know if I will ever play another one of these again. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like this was such a good return from what felt like a 20-year break. And the fact that it just happened to land on PlayStation Plus was probably like one of the like luckiest moments I had of this year, I guess, because I've wanted to play one of these for a while and I've heard all of the complaints and I didn't end up with a lot of crazy shit in WWE that like ruined my experience. I have no love or affiliation for WWE these days. Stopped watching it 20 years ago. This just happened to be good return to that old wrestling format from like the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 days. So I was glad to just like be able to play something that felt so basic while like a 20-year improvement is obviously there. So I played only one of the storylines all the way through. That was the undisputed one. Um, I don't know. It's a weird, stupid RPG that just has the fighting wrestling game in the middle of it. So I really enjoyed being back to that. So number nine, I don't know. It almost didn't make it just because I looked at a lot of like what comes before and what comes after. But I think really in the end, I just fucking fell in love with this basic ass wrestling game.
People say it's good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like as far as WWE games go, they say like just what you said, it's a return to form. And who's it? I can't even remember. I think it was Greg Miller was talking about it and said almost the same thing. Like for him, like this is the game that he is like excited and but like from here on out, is it going to be different? Probably not.
Right. No,
Yeah.
no, I think like this is where you continue to make your mold and you
Hmm.
don't try and reinvent it again. I can't remember if they're going to take a year break or if this is what followed the year break, but I don't know. After this, just keep doing this. Don't fuck it up.
All right, so my number nine is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
All right.
So
I
the
don't have it. I haven't played it.
yeah, I didn't. I guess I should pause. I assume neither of you
Yeah.
had this, but yeah. So it's more Elden Ring. 2 years ago, Elden Ring was my game of the year with a bullet. Elden Ring is probably, if I had to make a top five, top 10 list of games of all time, it would probably be on there. And in a lot of ways, this is more Elden Ring, and like I loved it. And this is the only game on my top 10 list that is beatable that I have not beat. I'm close. But it's just something I fell off of and didn't get back. Not even fell off of, but it just takes such a time commitment and such focus that I got distracted. And I think that that's actually what kind of pushes it down for me a little bit is it is so high level. Like Elden Ring was okay, you don't get what to do, you can fuck off somewhere else. No, this Shadow of the Erd Tree is like so high level, and its leveling system is pretty cool. There's certain things that you find that boost just in the expansion area that boost your attack and defense and your like um, summons attack and defense. Uh, but normal leveling up doesn't, it's still there. You still get runes, but it doesn't do much. And one of the things I kind of loved about Elden Ring was like, ooh, I can just go grind or do something else. And I'm going to come back and be significantly more powerful. This is like, I'm
Yeah.
going to go, like, the items that you use are, some of them are on bosses and stuff, but some of them are random. So it's like, yes, I can explore a bunch, but killing these enemies is pointless unless I stumble on one of these things. So that kind of brought it down for me, but amazing game. as far as expansions go, it definitely could have been its own game. I mean, they're doing Elden Ring Night Rain, and I know that's completely
Right.
different, but they could have definitely made this be almost a spinoff as well. So I definitely will go back and finish it probably pretty soon because there's a lull in new games, things like that. So Elden Ring, Shadow of the Year Tree, my number 9.
Yeah, I need to get around to it. I've been stingy just with everything else coming out, but I've decided that I just want to wait for a sale for this game. Um, I have every intention of getting around to this thing. Johnny, what's your number 8?
Here we go, baby. Number 8. This is gonna be on all you guys' lists. I already know it. It's a hot number. Here we go. Little Kitty, Big City. Uh?
Ooh, move out there, but nope.
I know, I know. This
I'm
is
here
what
for it.
I'm gonna have like the most eclectic list. Here we go. Double Dagger Studio. This shit came out in May 9th. You know what? The title says it all. You're a little kitty in a big city. You fucking fall off like your fucking ledge, which should have like killed you, into the city by hanging onto a fucking bird. But you know what? This game is actually really super chill and very relaxing. No frills. It looks like maybe going back to like PS2, PS3 graphic wise. But you know, music, gameplay, it's all fun. Usually you're supposed to be doing is like kind of like the some of the trophies is like, oh, get pet by people. No, I'm gonna attack the people and let them hit me. That's the kind of cat I am. It's fun. It's you know you can actually explore within this city. There is some limitations, but within those limitations, there's just things that you can actually try and do, like literally try to scour over, not scour over, but like try to climb an entire fucking building. You know, figure it out with like the jump system they have. It makes you think. On the same time, it also makes it a really fun time to play. Other than that, it's just like it's also like super fucking affordable. I think it's maybe like less than $20 on everywhere, and it's usually on sale all the time. But yeah, I mean,
On
there's
Game
no.
Pass,
It,
or was.
it is. Oh, okay. There's like no voice acting, so it's like text, like that text shit, like the just you just read on, but it doesn't really break the game itself. So like kind of like the
Oh,
illusion. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of those games, like I said before, like it's enjoyable. You can just chill and relax. It just kind of brings you back to like for me, like the high school days, like you know, enjoying games when games were supposed to be fun. So that's my number 8, Little Kitty, Big City.
Yeah, I actually I forgot that came out this year. I played a couple hours of it with my daughter. She loved it. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like half the time on that those 2 hours was literally just walking into a puddle and seeing the cat jump back and react, and she would
Yep.
just laugh so hard. That was the funniest thing in the world. So, yeah, I think it's a fun game. I need to get back to it. That would be fun to play around in more. So, did you play with your daughter at all, Johnny?
No, she got bored. She is more like akin of like she needs like quick shit happening on the screen. So like the other games, like she can handle like regular games. Like kids games, she gets really bored really quickly.
that's number 20 on my list. I think it was everything that Stray should have been, really. I mean, this was just a good, fun cat experience, not a cat experience with like iRobot.
Mm.
But overall, like it was fun. I really did a lot of that map and just tried to find a lot of the collectibles. I think being the cat guy that I am with 4 cats in this house, like playing as a cat was just a stupid fun little thing to do. And I think like the art style on it is very cute. Like it's a nice semi cell shaded kind of thing. So it just makes it, more carefree, I guess, or fun. My number 8 is Pro Country. And this is one that I moved around a bit. I know that Elliot really loves scary games, so I'm sure it's number 1 on his list. So I don't know why he stopped me from talking. Um, but this is a nice throwback game, and it does get beat out by another few throwback games. But I think this game kind of defied my expectations. Like I thought that it would feel too old, or that the shooting wouldn't feel as good. Like it's still that old Resident Evil, old isometric camera, like stop and pause, no longer moving, but at least it gives you a laser sight, and like that laser sight is really what helps you get through the game. Combat wise, the story is very predictable, and I know that we hadn't talked like spoilers until this point. Like my biggest spoiler for this game is if you have already predicted who the main character is, like by the end of it, you will not be surprised because it starts out with a mystery of some girl was infected the Crow Country Park. And your character is a few years older than who they say got attacked. But, she's got a fake name basically, and then that she's trying to disguise herself as a cop. So, kind of once the conceit is broken of her disguising herself as a cop, you pretty much know exactly who this character is. So, I don't think knowing the twist makes the twist bad, but it felt so fucking obvious. But the last fight is very cool. Like the ending, I don't know if I got the good ending or what, but the ending is nicely like wrapped together. So I would play another like Crow Country for sure, and I think it would be cool almost if they did an upgrade to like we did this PlayStation like one game. Now let's do the PlayStation 2 version of this. Just to see what that would look like. But I think Crow Country should be played. It's like 3 or 4 hours. And if you like the old school horror, it's like scary. It's not like Alan Wake 2, but just I'd say give it a go. Elliot, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Tactical Breach Wizards.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not surprised here.
Didn't think that would be higher on yours, but yeah, I've talked about that on this podcast before. Turn-based strategy and where you are literally like a SWAT team that is full of wizards that have different abilities, things like that. And the premise sounds super silly and slapstick, and it is. There's some funny stuff for sure, but it actually has a pretty good overarching story. Some of the people, their abilities are pretty tragic, and they talk about what that means. And in fact, like you get bonus levels in between a lot of the big levels where you play as like one character and then a duplicate of themselves. And they like are talking through basically it's like a dream sequence where they're like going through all of their shit. So you don't have to play that to get the main story, but it just gives you great background on the different characters. So super fun. I think the only thing that kind of drug it down for me is some of the wizards had a lot better abilities than other ones, and it's not like you got to like choose a squad to go into a level. Every level has set wizards that you have to do. So sometimes you have like the ones you're really used to and good with their abilities, and some you're like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to rely on this other one because I barely know what to do with this person. So that's my only negative on that. I think it would be really good like mobile game. I think a lot of turn-based strategy games would probably be, but it's not really graphically intense or anything like that. So Tactical Breach Wizards, my number 8.
One that I keep hoping that they move to Switch. Like it seems like it would be a good Switch game. Really.
Definitely would be a good Switch game for sure.
Johnny, what is your number 7?
Number 7. Here we go. Under a Star, Long Cold. Does anybody have that?
I don't even know what the hell this is.
I've never heard of this game.
If you want to like go like to a place where it's like super indie, this is like part of it. It's under like Merlino Games, but it's really like this one guy like Antonio Freya. I have a hard time pronouncing his name. I know he's working on something recently that's like I think is going to be like more than just him working on this game solo. But for this one, it's his latest one. It came out in February. This one, most of his games like take very like inspiration from Metal Gear. But for this one, it took the most. Like if you were really looking, if people who truly enjoyed like Ground Zeroes, like I know there's a whole group of people that just like it is just like the top for them. This is like this one would be like your retro PS1 style version of it. with modern controls. It's this, pretty much the same controls as Ground Zeroes, but PS1 level era graphics. Um, Basic story: you're dropped on this planet. You got you got to pay off your debts. The planet is literally going to be destroyed in 30 minutes. Loot and raid the fuck out of this place. When I say the same control style, you also have binoculars and you can mark every enemy. And if you all of a sudden the enemy becomes suspicious, instead of an exclamation point, there's a question mark. So I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure maybe the exclamation point would be like, "Hey, that's our business. Get out of there, sir." But yeah, tight controls, retro graphics. Not much to the story. Just like it's pretty much like another one where it's like, go in there, have some fun, change up the strategy. Enemies will remember where you are, even if you think you like, oh, this game's like so like low graphic wise. Like, what's the
That noise.
AI about? But what?
Said, what was that noise?
Uh, but yeah, like it's a fun game. It's another one where it's like it brings you back to like memory lane, especially for like someone like me who enjoys like Metal Gear like the fuck out of it. And so far we haven't had any. And we're kind of fucking waiting, Konami. But like for Merlino, like all of his games, it's usually $3 or less. They're always usually on sale. Pretty much, I think I don't know if they're on all systems, but I know for Steam, the whole catalog's there. I think someone could buy it for like maybe less than $20. But for this one, it's so far like his best. It's got the better control scheme. So for people who are like really into Ground Zeroes, jump right in. This is a really good one.
All right, what was the name of it? Say it one more time.
Under a Star Long Cold, and that's like a really obscure kind of like.
It is. It really is.
I
Why I
mean,
had to have you say it
his,
again.
his other ones are like kind of like similar that way.
All right. Yeah, I think that's like one of the cool things about some of these modern throwbacks is the
Mm,
way to like still do tank controls and make people like care about it. Because in Crow Country, if you were to play with the sticks, like you play with modern controls, but if you play with the
mm,
actual like D-pad, then it's tank.
mm.
So pretty fucking crazy. Um, I'll check it out. I mean, anything that sounds like Metal Gear, old school Metal Gear. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. All right, my number 7 is Fear the Spotlight. And I think for as excited as I was to play this, to actually be able to play this game this year was pretty fucking cool. Uh, I was excited from like the day that they announced this or showed this on Summer Game Fest during the Blumhouse section. This is one of those same like PlayStation 1 retro throwbacks. But I think the thing that like really worked for this come the end of it was the two scenario system that the game has. And like when you finish the game, you immediately can dive back in and play from a different perspective. But what really worked here was it wasn't the A B kind of scenario that's in Resident Evil 2. It's two separate games. And I think both stories like are very good, but the second one I found a little bit better. Like the first one is very predictable for like I think I said this before, like it's very CW kind of drama. The second one is very much a family drama just with a horror setting. And they add in like a very ring like lady that pretty much also comes out of the TV, as much as she was the only enemy to like actually hit me because the game wanted me to crawl through something at the same time that she's coming in. Like that was the only time that I got hit. But she's also like the best part of an oh shit moment towards the end. And I think like this game being made by two people is also pretty fucking crazy. Like of course the credits go and you see all the other things that have happened since Blumhouse came in to help. But with this originally being a two-person project is pretty crazy, I think, just with the amount of like depths that the story has and how true to its art style that it is. So it never feels like that old PlayStation 1 style is a hindrance. It just feels like they are a very modern, like very good PlayStation 1 game.
Nice.
It's spooky, but I think like even the dumb jump scares that can be in this game are pretty good. So look out for the Astro children like it's Silent Hill. Just be prepared. But I'd say it's good. I liked it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, again, that is not a game that is for me, but heard great things. I will take your word for it. Okay, my number
What's yours?
seven. My number seven, I have a feeling we are not going to talk about right now because my number seven is Helldivers 2.
I've got a higher.
Yeah, me too.
I figured. All right, moving on. Johnny, what is your number six?
This is another I know none of you guys are gonna have, but I'll be surprised. Number 6, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Does anybody have that?
All right. Nope. The old what is that? The old Boba Fett game.
Yes, it was basically remastered by Aspire Studios. It came out in August. It was kind of silent. I didn't really see much like news about it other than like I think the official account tweeting about it, like, hey, it's released, check it out.
Right.
But you
Right.
know what? This is the bounty hunter game that we should have gotten originally. Bring it to today so you get the updated visuals. So it's a little more cleaner, a little more smoother looking. Way better control system. I played this shit on the GameCube, and that forever made me the angry gamer from then on. But for this one, I don't know. They probably just reused like voice dialogue from the original game because it didn't really sound much different. Because I imagine they're not
Sure.
going to spend that much money on it. But for this one, all right, better control system. So now the game's actually enjoyable and fun. You actually want to play as Jango Fett. You actually want to try to find the additional bounties between the levels. Like, oh, it would kind of give you drop into like one level and be like, all right, there's additional people you can actually scan and hunt. Original game didn't want to do that shit. Like, nope, goodbye, straight to story. Let's get this fucking over with. This one, it's like, yes, I'm going to immerse myself in this world. And I believe for this one, it came out where if you do new game plus, I think you would get like the Mandalorian like outfit.
Right.
So
Interesting.
that was like a nice thing to like kind of like try to bring people into like, oh, you like Mandalorian? Well, check out this game from back in the day you probably never played or didn't know it existed. Like, and this is like another one that kind of brought me back to like the PS2 like heydays, where it's like, yes, I played this on the GameCube, but it also came out for the PlayStation 2, which also didn't have great controls. There was controls were actually abysmal for this entire game. But I do remember like
Sure.
if you did not pay attention, because sometimes the frame rates did drop and enemies who were invisible reappeared, if you were surrounded and being hunted down, the fucking game would like crash at the
Oh
highest
man.
point. And for people who probably plays on GameCube, you remember that because it would make that clicking sound just before the game crashed and seized up on you. I remember like that shit made me like fucking miserable gamer from that for that one. But this one, it pretty much like corrects all the issues from the past, and it's really good. Especially if you play the original, because this will actually be a treat. But like you can actually enjoy this game, just like games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be somewhat enjoyable. But yeah, I enjoy the hell of it. It's actually pretty good.
All right, Adam.
My number six. My number six. It's Helldivers 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So Johnny's got a higher. Elliot, you're up.
All right. Let me pull it back up. My number six is 1,000 times resist.
God, I wish I finished this.
Yes, I honestly think, Adam, if you would have finished it, I don't know where it would be, but it would have definitely been a contender for your list. So, 1,000 time resist, kind of almost visual novel, 3D visual novel y, but with a little bit more gameplay in it than to make it a visual novel. But I mean, the gameplay is
From the end, like I just said that it was a walking simulator. It's number 13 on my list, but that's definitely what I would just like term it because I think visual novel, kind of like you said, like it's got too much gameplay.
yeah, yeah. But the gameplay is not where it's at. Like gameplay alone, I mean, it's not good, borderline on some things just horrible. Like it is
Yeah.
legitimately one of the worst maps that I've seen. And partially it's because it's supposed to, like, the map you have is like a drawing, like middle school style drawing, and there's a reason for that, a story reason for that. Um, but just the main area you're at is very hard to navigate, and then there's just a couple times that, like, puzzles or clunky things like that. But the story is incredible. The story, the music, the visuals, the concept of, it's post-apocalyptic and then flashbacks of what happened before, very non-linear storytelling with a lot of big twists and stuff. And I had mentioned it before on this pod, but it is one of those ones where at the end, where you are in the story is leaps and bounds beyond, like, mysteries, things like that, where you were at the beginning. But unlike some stories that are like that, like you're Lost or Breaking Bad or whatever, that just like build and build and build, this one really brings it back around to the beginning so well. One of the best stories in a video game I can think of in a long time. It's incredible. If the gameplay would have been more fun, it probably would have been higher on my list, because that story is just amazing. And I'm really excited to hear, Adam, what you think when you finish it, and Johnny, if you end up playing it, what do you think?
I think like finishing Thank Goodness You're Here really compelled me to play this game, because my main complaint with Thank Goodness You're Here is it's also just not fun to navigate. I think like the one thing that Thank Goodness You're Here really needed was like just a single quest marker, like when you paused it, just remind me where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do. And like Eliot said, like this game has a map, but that map is also incredibly unhelpful with how shitty it is to navigate that area. Like he said, like as much as you have something, then there's a compass as well. Both are so fucking useless. Um, Honestly, having not finished it, if even just navigating that area or a lot of areas in the game were better, it probably would have made number 10. Just because where I'm at in the story, like a lot has happened, and I am so fucking invested now. But it's good. I think I would be very surprised if this is not one of those games that would make me cry come the end. Jesus Christ, it's gotten pretty close.
Absolutely, I guarantee it will.
Yeah.
Right.
Little bitches.
Yeah. Now we are in our top fives.
So this is where like the big boy is gonna play
Yeah, the big
of the
guns.
games. All right, so here we go. Number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Who's got that other than me?
About did that multiplayer, man.
That I'm surprised.
It was an honorable mention of an honorable mention for me, like in the teens.
Oh wow.
Let's see. It is number 16 for me, and definitely on like the I wish I played more. But yeah.
Okay.
I wish I would have finished that campaign.
All right, so here we go. Treyarch Raven Software. This came out like in October 25th. This is the actual only fucking Call of Duty game I've played since like Black Ops 1. Because afterwards, it just felt like same monotonous shit, same gameplay, same control scheme. For this one, it went way beyond my expectations. It surpassed it immensely. Obviously graphics are good, but this time way more tighter controls, especially involving weaponry. They added the Omni movement, which I feel like everyone has like mastered that shit, and I'm still in kindergarten mode for that when it comes to online player. But you know what? It's got a great story. Can't hear you, Adam.
Said I'm not in like camping mode, but I'm still definitely not in the I'm gonna run and dive and slide everywhere and like shoot perfect shots mode.
Well, you definitely did way, way, way better than I could have like imagined myself to get on that game. But you know what? Like I said, like great storyline. The campaign's actually really, really good. They added some like parts, like I don't want to call them RPG element types, maybe, but like to like increase like base. I think it was like workbench, weapon bench, and I believe like
Sure.
intelligent bench. I'm probably fucking botching that shit up, but basically the 3 benches that you have to like increase, like make your fucking gameplay a little bit better, a little bit more manageable. Um, for one, I actually, for this one, stealth, I actually took more into time doing stealth because I feel like even in your
Sure.
first person, this game felt like more like you're actually able to control your body better in regards where I'm not just literally running up to guards and going, oh shit, blew my fucking cover again. Fuck, restart the level. Um,
Sure.
I do love the fucking Little Caesars um ads within the game. I was like, that's just Call of Duty right there. That's just pure Call of Duty. Other than that, that actually made me want to play online as well. Because most of the time I was like, if I tried like the new Modern Warfares that they kind of like rebranded again, I played maybe like 20 minutes of it and just kind of dropped the game afterwards and didn't bother doing online because I feel like they were like gearing more towards like Warzone. Like they want you to like play more Warzone than the actual game itself, which is kind of odd. But for this one, I haven't tried the zombies yet, but I feel like everyone's like super enjoying it. I'm not a fan of the zombie parts. I am a fan of like the online parts. I am not a camper. I would literally run into the middle of the field and probably get like
Oh
waylaid a
yeah.
billion times. But hey, I'm trying to hunt people down. But for this game, it made fucking Call of Duty enjoyable once again, and playing it made me want to like. It made me feel like I was like back in like high school and college. And I was like, oh shit, this is actually fucking fun. Especially with a cross-platform. I think for you guys, I was the only odd man out on the PlayStation front while you guys were doing the Xbox. Uh, no complaints other than like I can barely hear you guys. It sounded like I was playing with mouses. I was like, I can't hear you
Sure.
guys. We're dying out here. But Black Ops 6, it's better. I think they've actually figured out what to fucking do again. Hopefully they don't fuck it up and shit the bed and not be like a joke in the industry. Like, don't want Modern Warfare 3. Don't want that shit again.
I think like when I'm done with Thousand Times Resist, it probably would
Mm,
not hurt to go back and do Black Ops 6 campaign. It's one of those that I kept telling myself to come back to or like actually do, and then more and more games or
mm.
bigger games came out. Like bigger in scope, not necessarily just bigger in name. But yeah, that multiplayer man with Omni movement is fucking so good. It would have been up higher if I had not like reevaluated today, probably for the same reasons that WWE would have.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is one that, I mean, literally last night I had friends texting, hey, who's playing Call of Duty? And I was playing Life is Strange, still trying to get through that. So I was like, not tonight,
Fucking
but
nerd.
exactly. But no, it is so much fun. The Omni movement is great, but it is definitely like one I could see if you master it, then you have such an advantage. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
really cool, really fun. I only played a little bit of the campaign as well. I want to go back and finish that. But yeah, Call of Duty is back, baby. Until next
Right.
year when they go back to World War II or something like that, and it's boring as shit.
Ugh.
Incredibly. Modern Warfare.
Now they'll go back to the Revolutionary War.
Oh, that'd be great.
Takes 5 minutes to load your musket.
Yeah. Multiplayer matches just never end. All right, my number five. I'm probably I'm going to be curious here. My number five is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Hey!
All right. All
My
right.
number five is also Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Perfect.
Mm.
This was higher earlier, but I just kind of thought about it a little longer, and it didn't fall a lot. Like it didn't go from 1 to 5 or anything like that. But this is like a perfect game of the year 5, which I guess on a scale of like 1 to 10 for a normal review would be like an 8.5 or 9. I mean, it was a lot better than I originally had thought. And come the end, it was one of those games that by the end, I was sad that it was like over where it was. And that's not like wholly due to what the final location was. It's just that I wish that there was a little more that maybe wasn't solely stuck in like side content because some of the great puzzles of this game are hidden behind some of the side content. And if they would have found a way to just like make a story out of some of those things as well, this game probably would have been number 2 or number 3. But It's great. Like it's visually fucking awesome. Kind of like I said with Rebirth earlier, and like about Alan Wake. Like this is where we need to be done. This is a good level of fidelity. Aside from the eyes are very kind of weird in cutscenes. Um, but like this is where we should call it. Eliot and Johnny have it visually here. I know I said it before, but I would definitely play one of these every 2 years. And if only like if the only thing they really iterated on, let me get my voice back, or did a little bit better was like the combat. I think I would fucking continue playing these for a long time. Elliot, what you got to say about it, baby boy?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello. My controller was, or my headphones weren't working. Yeah, basically everything you say, I agree with. It kind of fluctuated between like a little bit higher on my list, but they nailed playing Indiana Jones. The voice acting really good. The story is just so Indiana Jones and all of the great, the almost nonsensical plot because Indiana Jones knows so much about so many random things, the silliness, the iconic moments, the music, and even just like sneaking stuff like that. I think the only thing that I really didn't like, and I don't know how they would have improved it much, was just combat.
Yeah.
Where I just like the stealth was actually even pretty solid. But if I like got
Yeah.
it, like it made me not want to or really focus on the stealth, which is probably good, honestly, but because I didn't want to get into many combat scenarios. So that's one I kind of felt like I wanted to make sure I had time to finish it, so I kind of mainlined at the end. But I definitely want to go back and do some more of the side stuff because it seems like you said, the side stuff I've done, some of that story was just as good, and those puzzles were just as good, if not better, than the main story. So, Indiana Jones, great game. Johnny can play it whenever it comes out on PlayStation.
Spring 2025.
Yeah. And I'd say definitely play it. Like I know, like I said, like I came out really hot and heavy on this game, an initial impression, but then when I learned more, really made playing this a much better experience. So if this was, I think that this if this was a movie, I would have watched this. So Johnny, that's like the glowing recommendation there too. Is like if this were an Indiana Jones movie, you should sit down and watch that shit.
Yes, especially the villain, Voss is like up there with the best of the Indiana Jones villains. He's like Indiana Jones's mirror image in so many different ways because he's kind of goofy and silly and stuff like that. It's just great.
Yeah.
But not him because he's a Nazi. We don't like him. All right. So
Johnny, what's your number 4?
Here we go. Number 4, Indica. Anybody got that? Okay.
not
Higher, baby, higher.
Not on my list at all. So, yeah.
Blasphemy.
I know
Yeah.
We'll talk about one there. Adam.
All right, my number 4, and this actually just swapped this morning, is mouthwashing. So it really only swapped my number 3, but mouthwashing was the experience for me to actually play something on Steam again this year. And as good as it was, I think it's really hard to like put into words what part of it makes it the best like package. So as much as it is a very basic, very small walking simulator, the very non-linear way that they told this story is partially what makes it seem so bleak, because it's 5 people on a spaceship and you play as one of the 5, and the other one is handicapped for almost the entirety of the game. And your one thing that you do with this character is basically feed them meds. So every time that you do that is a inflection point where you know that this character that you're playing as is both fucked up, but also a like separator between what you know and what you are going to learn. But like it's not heavy on mechanics. There's a few things that you do. One of them I was happy to play with a controller because there's like semi stealth part where you need to move as quietly along as you can. So I cannot imagine trying to do that on a keyboard, but like moving and you hear the grates like under your foot every time that you move, and then you're in a warehouse within the ship, and you basically like old school Jurassic Park style, you see something move throughout the shelves, and the shelves like do the jumping that you would see of like the fields that velociraptors would run through. Like that was my one comparison that I think actually made this pretty good. Like it is very cinematic. It is remarkably anti-capitalism. It is just like if you were to pare down Alien and make it maybe a little less scary and 100 times% more of like a psychological thriller, this is what you would get. But from the end, I don't know how people are like making fan art of this game. Like this is a really good game. But I think to make fan art of any one of these characters tells me that you probably didn't listen to a few very key parts. Like there's maybe two people in this game that you could actually root for, and one of them come the end, like you would root for because he's the youngest and like the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed kid that just got stuck in a shitty situation. It's it's great. Like it's weird to say that a game like this is great, but I think if you were to look at this from a are video games art or are video games living up to where modern day film is, like this game alone would just say yes. That's one reason that it's so high on my list. Like I know I just finished it last week, right? So it could be recency bias. Who the fuck knows? But overall, like I am so glad that I just played this game.
Yeah, if I again, three-year games on your list. This, maybe not Fear the Spotlight, but this and Crow Country. Like, if I like scary games, I think I would definitely enjoy those games. But I
I
don't.
think like the scary parts in this are more mind fucks than they are actually scary. And I think that's one thing that really helps it. This game could have gone that I'm walking in the same corridor, let me have something jump out at you and say blah kind of route. But it never really did. Um, one of the segues, I mean, many of the segues are the game glitching, and like it kind of does an audio stutter, and then you look, and then the scene kind of blurs and shifts into something else entirely. It might have done that too much, but I think when it did, like it made those small shifts to how it did it, it was very effective. Because again, like it was a segue from scene to scene. And in a game like this, like doesn't often just shift to black, which I think really made it like feel seamless as one giant story as well. Johnny, what's your number three?
Wait, do I
Wait,
do
I
I
thought it
not
was Elliot's turn.
Oh shit,
I
Elliot,
don't
Elliot,
I
fuck
don't
you.
get
What's your number three?
to
You
my
don't.
number four?
Number four.
We're on four, right?
Yep.
I don't know what numbers are. Yes.
Yes, so my number four is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So this one has actually gone back and forth with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, but I settled on Like a Dragon just because, man, it is such a fun game. Like, it is, in a lot of ways, it has a lot in common with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it has your main storyline, but a lot of the stuff, it has a lot of side stuff, like a lot. But where Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it felt like the mini games were, forced and needed and stuff like this. This one is like, hey, here's this mini game, play it for a second, take pictures of these perverts and have it be like a Pokemon Snap kind of thing for once, and then you never
Oh
have to
yeah.
play it again if you don't want to. And the story was just so much fun. Just Ichiban is as a main character, he is one of the best. Like just like most happy-go-lucky, always positive kind of guy. And then Kiryu, like I haven't played any of the other Like a Dragons other than this and a little bit of Seven. Um, but I could go. It makes me want to go back. I have them on my Steam Deck, and I want to go back and I want to hear that full story. And I didn't even mention the combat, turn-based combat, but where you can kind of move around um, in a little circle to plan out your attacks instead of just being stuck in one place. Really fun. It's just a game that it was really, really early in the year. So I feel like that is probably part of the reason you don't hear about it as much in a lot of things. Nominations, stuff like that, just recency bias. But it's great. It's one of my favorites, and intrigued to do what is it, Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii, Like a Dragon Yakuza Pirate.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I might actually got it right or close to right. Even though that's the more brawler beat 'em up style, it's probably going to have that same heart and that same silliness. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's barely a month. I think it's like mid-February. So
Yeah.
that's my number 4, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Great Steam
I can
Deck.
dig it.
Great Steam Deck game. All right.
Johnny, what's your number 3?
Number
Top
3.
3, yes.
Here we go. This is where it gets hot and heavy. Balatro. All right.
That is higher on my list. That is
I figured.
Adam, what's your number 3?
Oh. My number 3 is Indica. So earlier, Johnny, is this your number 3 here, or your number 2?
No, this was my number 4, and you put it to number 3.
That's right. All right. Again, like this is one that I think is a very Adam game that Adam has talked about a lot on this podcast. And for me, this was the perfect blend, more so than mouth-washing, of video games are just right there with movies. Like, this is just an A24 ass video game. And as much as there were a few parts, like the forklift driving and the going up and down an elevator where I continued to walk onto the same platform far too many times and didn't know where the fuck I was going kind of level of puzzles, I think come the end, the overall art style of this movie to make it look as realistic as possible really helped this entire game. So when it's like mixed with that 8-bit style interstitials of what you know is just story, all of the moments near the end, like it's a perfect tie together. Two very separate elements that just both bled together so well. And I think they all like came at the perfect time, and from the end of it, you see your possessor like face to face. And it is one of the dumbest moments of a video game, just sitting something shaking experience. But in the end, like come the overall message through that part, you know exactly how much like quote unquote sinning you're doing at the same time. Like you are trying to win one over and you're gaining all this experience, and you know that it's not going to help you, right? Like you're just doing your inhibitors because brains say number go up, look nice, thank you, I'm level 69. But like come the end and you just kind of give up. It's a weird question that I don't feel like a lot of games have asked. And like you have the overall Last of Us, it was lying to Ellie, a good thing to do. Like you never had a character where you ultimately had to look at their goal. And I think that's really where this ended up for me.
Yeah, it was probably, I don't know, I didn't do, after my top 10, I did a couple honorable mentions. I didn't number my teens, but it definitely would have been in the teens. I loved the story. I think what drug it down for me is I thought like the gameplay, sometimes it seemed, especially like the elevator one, like that puzzle.
Yeah.
Sometimes it felt like it had puzzles just to have puzzles. Sometimes it made sense. Like I loved the rest of the Fish Factory, like a lot of that, like surreal
Right.
kind of puzzly stuff. But sometimes I was like, these puzzles are just weird. I'm not a huge puzzle person. Um, so that kind of drug it down for me. But yeah, I agree. The story is definitely makes you think and is kind of like, um, yeah, definitely. I loved the end when you're walking with like the prison guard and he's telling that like kind of not related at all story, but related to the overall themes of the game. That was a
Yeah.
great way to just tie it in. I wish some of the mechanics, like uh, the praying to bring the world back together in a puzzle way. I wish that would have been done more than some of the other puzzles. Maybe the
Yeah.
eight the 8-bit art stuff for the flashbacks was really cool too. Um, yeah, I thought it was a great game, and I'm glad that this was this was to me what Balatro was to you, and the fact that we were twisting each other's arms to play it, and John
Right.
was just much more agreeable than either of us, and just was like, okay, I'll play
Oh
both.
yeah, I'll play it. I
Johnny,
think like
So,
the real quick, like the
mhm.
8-bit moments as flashbacks in a video game like this that treats itself as like the purest of I've got a story to tell you while still remaining very meta to like being a video game was such a cool way to handle a flashback. Because here you are in the most modern of 2024 graphics. But let's throw it back to when you were also a teenager and you were all like, or, younger and you were playing these kind of games. But guess what? Those kind of games didn't tell you this kind of story. So let's kind of tip that on its head. So Johnny, why was it on your list?
Oh, well, after finally like being suggested like this is a game we should all play, I get the idea of it, like the initial story of it, of a nun who's possessed by, I don't know if they say it's a devil or a demon. The fact that they took that story and then put it to the backdrop of 19th century Russia, very bleak, very like gray. Uh, it pairs well with it. The part that I replayed it after my initial playthrough,
Oh yeah.
and my thing was that I think with the whole how church treats sexuality, especially with women, making probably possibly making her think that she's possessed because she's someone who's just like, you know, reacting to her natural hormones of her body. I think paired with that and like witnessing her father like gun down like
No kidding.
her lover like Mirko, I think
Yeah.
that played into the fact and kind of fractured her mind, diving
Oh
deeper
yeah.
into like, I must be like something's got to be wrong with me for these events to have occurred and happened. I mean, people could probably say like, oh well, spoiler alert, she could have said something like, oh well, secondly, yeah, he also could have not like robbed her father's fucking store.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
like two can play that game kind of thing. But no, like you said before, like, for Unreal Engine and then blending like the 8-bit graphics to kind of tell the backstory of the character, that paired very well together, especially giving you a kind of a break from like the darkness and like the whole like heading towards like the monastery. I enjoy like the whole like yin and yang thing where it's like you come across an inmate who has a gangrenous arm but says he speaks to God, and here's a nun who I think for all intents and purposes was kind of like scorned for her past sexuality leading into her troubles, saying that she's possibly possessed because of that. Kind of going into the
Yeah, it
journey
was like
together.
definitely that. It was
Hmm.
definitely that mixed in with the lie.
Yeah.
You, from the end, you know exactly why she ended up where she did,
Hmm.
and for the most part, it I guess makes sense like why she would be the most susceptible to this possession.
Hmm.
And I think that's really one thing that like makes this game kind of even more meta because as much as she's possessed, like you are then also possessing the possessor by playing as both of them seemingly at the same time. Like the moment where there's that puzzle and you're looking from room to room and like everything flips upside down.
Hmm.
And when you're in the doorway, like you can see the devil who's possessed
Yeah.
Indica, right? Like it is very obvious at that point you are controlling both of them So when you're controlling like both of them separately or together, you are very much both of them, which I think helps embody like Indica as a character and who you're playing as, quote unquote playing as, really come the end. I don't know, Johnny, like come the
Hmm.
end, very good. I think your comparison to like this very bleak uh 19th century Russia, 20th century Russia, like, and then the back and forth of the colors
Hmm.
of not only the 8-bit, but like there was the scene where they're both around the fire and the fire's glowing and you feel the warmth for both characters. Like you feel how both characters rejuvenated kind of right there. And it's such a weird like scene to see in a game of something just so basically emotional, but it's not overacted, it's not overplayed, it's nothing like that. Like it's so fucking subtle, and I think that's what really makes this game feel so damn cinematic. And like again, like this is one of those things that I would say this game is art, just because it does so much well that it's kind of easy to let go of those stupid fish can fucking forklifting moments.
Where are we at? Is it my number three now? All right, my number three is Metaphor Refantasio. No, you guys didn't have that at one or two? Really, really thought you might have. No, talked about it a lot on this podcast. It's, you know, I've saw some discourse on Twitter back and forth on, oh, people say it's just fantasy persona. That's so much more than that. And like almost saying like calling it fantasy persona is like an insult. But I think like if I compare it to that, and I can see what people are saying, it's fantasy persona in that it takes some of the best things of persona, combat system, calendar system, stuff like that, and just makes them better and sands off the rough edges. All of your companion links, every time you meet them, you know you're going to get a good story. You know you're going to progress. Every time you know how close you are to leveling up all of your stats, things like that. And with that is the best turn-based combat I have ever played, and that's saying something because turn-based RPGs are some of my favorites. Going back to literally my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy X, and I loved that turn-based combat. But this is just, it's so much fun. It can be so much like a puzzle. Um, a game has never made me care more about status effects than this game. I've always been like, back to the Pokemon days, is like the first move that I was gonna have Charmander forget was Tail Whip, because why would I want to lower the my
Right.
opponent's? It's like screw that. No, I'm gonna hammer you until that HP bar says 0. No, this makes you really honestly, unless you crank the difficulty down to easy, if you just do attacks and healing without status effects or stuff like that, you will not get through this game. Um, but you like that and you care about it because they do it so well. In any other year, honestly, um, it would have been one or two. Or last year definitely would have been my number one game, but we'll get to number one and two are just, it's more of a testament to how much I love those games and nothing against Metaphor. Um, I almost kind of do hope they do like some Metaphor Fantasio uh, gold or whatever, just like adding more, because one of the things is I'd love more voice acting, more social links, just more of that world. Um, which is funny because Moore is actually a character in the game. Um, so I loved that game, and I was really sad, even though I played 75 hours of it. I was sad when it was done. There are some optional bosses that I probably will go back and do. I did a side save file. Um, so, yep, Metaphor Fantasio, freaking amazing.
I think my problem with these games is just that they're not my style of gameplay, which sucks because I'm sure that I would love the stories. And I think that's really like the biggest hindrance for me because I've tried like Persona 5 a couple of times, right? But it's just that combat is not one for me, even though I know it's good. It's just not like my style.
It's
The
so
stories very much are.
Yeah, it's so addicting that it has like challenge rooms, like an arena you can go in and fight more and more difficult opponents. And I wish that they had more challenges in that arena. Usually, those optional side arenas I skip. This one, I played everything I possibly could, and I wanted to go.
Wow.
There's one where you can go for a long time. You have to beat like 30 battles in a row, with no healing or anything like that in between. And I wish it went longer.
Damn.
Yeah.
Johnny, you're number two.
Here we go, number two. No surprise. Helldivers 2. Does anybody have that higher?
Why is it your nope?
I, it
Why
was
is it your number two here?
it's number 7 for me.
All right, so this game felt more like an event to like kind of like be a part of, to kind of witness it like in its heyday. Very like high numbers. I believe like Steam was like close to like 500,000 pairing with PlayStation. I don't remember what the number was, but this was like the hottest game for a while. Unfortunately, due to like PlayStation's meddling and then like issues with like the game itself, I think they just probably weren't ready. But within that, why do I have it as number two? Is because with all the ups and downs they had, especially with the downs, Arrowhead Game Studios constantly worked on the game, constantly fixing it, retooling it, tweaking it, constantly updating the community, whether it's on Discord or on Twitter, what they're doing, um, why the reason they're doing it, and even for like things like weaponry, where like they had to like bring things down or bring it higher to like basically have the game on an even keel level as much as possible. And in the beginning, you had like the Terminids and the automatons. It's like great. For a while, it did get very tedious, boring, and lulled. Uh, like every other game, tons of leaks, tons of shit, up until the Keeleys, where holy shit, it's John Helldiver, and from just finally reintroducing a third faction, the Illuminates, they not only reworked the game to add another enemy, but also to have two different hazards, planetary and environmental. So you could literally have a building collapse on top of you during a blizzard, and you will take damage and possibly die from all that shit. It made it much better, a very more challenging enemy group, because the other two was just like pretty much straightforward. It's like find them, kill them, and for this one, it's like if you find them, they would literally try to rip you apart to pieces if you do not have the fucking right weaponry with it. But like everything else, and having like the kill zone crossover, which was like very like out of nowhere, kind of like bringing to like what Astro Bot did with like the PlayStation gaming world and community, like showcasing like this is his past. So it's kind of like doing like that with like bringing Killzone like armor and weaponry, and kind of like maybe hopefully having people going like, what was that game about? Let's go check that out back. Maybe try to stir something up with that as well. See how it goes. See how it sells well. See if there's any kind of like fucking um, like are people interested in it? Because like the original studio is not. That's long past gone from them. But like maybe give it to somebody else,
Yeah.
because you have so many properties in the past that like, you can actually bring it back. You don't need the original studio. Like give somebody like it's up and coming and new. But for this one, it's like yeah, the game is once again fun again, and hopefully, from what I've seen, a big amount of numbers, not as big as what it was before, but it does make it really enjoyable. And if you just want to like pop in for like an hour and just fuck around, just like whether you win or lose, it's entirely fun. It's actually a good time, especially if you have other players to play with. If you do that shit solo, you will get fucked in many ways.
Yeah, I think yeah, it was number 7 on mine, and I think you hit everything really well. I think my biggest reason it was number 7 is I did pros and cons list, and on the pro was it's great multiplayer. Like I love playing with you guys. That was really fun. But the con was it is multiplayer. Playing it on your own while you can, it either gets really, really difficult, or if you crank down the difficulty level, then it gets kind of almost boring or trivial. Um, which that's literally the lowest difficulty level you can do that. So no, I thought it was a great game. I think it's just, the stratagems, calling them down, having to do the keypad is pretty awesome. And then just seeing them explode, seeing them go crazy, like all the different things was just such a fun game.
I remember seeing this trailer last year and saying, do we really need a game like this? Like, do we need another online multiplayer game like this? But this turned out to be one of the funnest games to play with just three people. Like, the three of us playing this game together for a couple months on end was what really made me think I should give Black Ops 6 a try, because it had been so long since I played a multiplayer game that just something as dumb as this, because this is dumb fun. Like, this is not like Fortnite. This is not like a whole lot of other games out right now, in the sense that it's just PvE on a big platform. Oh, you buy it on Steam. Like, it's on the two biggest things that you can play these kinds of games on, and it was cheap. But like every part of this game is so fucking fun. Like Eliot said, like the DDR style stratagems. And the fact that it looks as good as it does is fucking insane as well. Because, you brought up dropping all the stratagems and seeing them just go. This game can be particle effects galore in a way that's not annoying or overwhelming. It's just cool as shit to see bugs splatter or sparks fly and things like that. The only reason it was lower for me really was just that it did not update fast enough, right? Like, the war bonds were just more weapons and more armor, while it's very obvious to us as players, like not even of the first game, but like we're aware that there was another enemy faction, and the map itself is built in a way that says not only do we have one more coming, we potentially have another one, like a fourth faction coming sometime. And the fact that it took them, what, 6 to 8 months to even add one more is kind of crazy. Johnny, like you said, like they probably just weren't prepared for it. But I think delaying that a little too long did not help them. It felt a lot of the original two enemies feel a little long in the tooth. That's maybe not saying that like they need to race the fourth one, but if you could also just add in a little bit more map variety for the other two, that would be great. Like that would be enough, probably. Overall, man, this game was so fucking fun to play. I know that we had talked about it. Like, I've never felt a game play like this since the Phantom Pain. Like, it is just a very good feeling third person shooter. That just so happens to be like the dumbest kind of third person shooter, run around, shoot things for so long, do simple objectives, and then get the fuck out, right? Like, that sounds like Call of Duty, but this just does that on such a cool level in such a cool way.
All right, Adam, your number two.
My number two is Silent Hill 2. All right, I've got the only Silent Hill 2 here. This was very
Can I
fucking
just
cool.
say real quick, Johnny, I am shocked that Silent Hill 2 is not on your list.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, Adam, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to say.
Mhm.
Right. I think playing Silent Hill 2 is just as cool as knowing what Silent Hill 2 is about, in a way that it made me wish that the first time I played Silent Hill 2 being here, never knowing what actually happened in this game. Because fucking what a whirlwind this could have been. And like, I've known these spoilers for fucking forever, right? Like, I've known this for over a decade, what happens in this game. But jumping in here in a very fluid, high fidelity manner made Silent Hill 2 good. And I would put this kind of on par with like that Resident Evil 4 remake. Like this does not exceed that play style or like that third person shooting, but it didn't need to. Like it just needed to match it. And the fact that this game has a melee style of fighting that's also not terrible and almost one that I would opt for more often than not is pretty fucking cool for a game like this. Um, like I said, whenever I played this originally, I got the good ending. And with how good this game was to play, it tells me that sometime in the future, there's definitely going to be another playthrough. Just because I want to see another ending, I want to see what New Game Plus means, or what even like if there's a New Game Plus Plus, what the hell that can mean. Just because I've never played a game that is played with my emotions in such a melodramatic way, but do it so like earnestly. This game is the sum of its parts, where it knows that it's just telling this super convoluted thing. And even like Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't do this, right? Like Kingdom Hearts remarkably convoluted. Kingdom Hearts 3 is trying to wrap all that up. But it looks so fucking cartoony at times, and it looks so stupid that you just get lost and say this is some anime bullshit. While for Silent Hill 2, you're like, this is so fucking weird that I want to see what happens with James. And even if you know what happens with James, or like if you nail what happens earlier, I think the process of playing from place to place, location to location, breaking all the windows and running into all the locked doors really kind of solidifies James as this real person. And if he was a real person, fuck that guy. Like I don't support anything that James has done. Obviously, like we're all very happily married. We're not gonna do anything that James had done in real life. Um, but it still makes his character someone come the end of the day. You want to root for him in a way that you want this fucking guy's final moment to be the revelation that he did everything wrong. And that feels so bad to say, but he's so much in denial that you, as the player, just want your character to wake the fuck. So I've never played like this is kind of that mouthwashing problem where like you're playing a character that you know did something so incredibly wrong, but you are playing as them. So you can't really like empathize with them because you're not that level of sociopath or psychopath. Like you're just stuck in this body as this person. So that's what really made being James as a character so fun mechanically, but so intriguing on another level.
I
I
mean,
would. Oh, God.
like I said on this podcast, you guys you're like, oh, you guys should definitely play this. So I played exactly almost to the second 3 hours of it. And I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I experienced it to see like what all of the positivity was about. Because I don't think if I played that 3 hours, I'd be like, oh, it's just a horror game, you horror freaks, or just you like to, you're masochist, you want to be scared and stuff. But playing it, I get it. I mean, it's so one of the best things that they did was you could was have the option where you could just keep hitting the enemies after they're dead, like they're like
Squelchy noises.
just and it's like sometimes you're just like the tension built so much just to be able to just like hit them a bunch of times afterwards was just so satisfying. And yeah, I get it's just it wasn't my I don't like that tension every minute of playing the game in that way, so it wasn't for me. But man,
that's wholly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm very intrigued now with Bloober team, see what they do moving forward. This next game looks very intriguing. Again, it might not be for me. I might try it out, but yeah, definitely excellent game. Johnny, I want to hear your thoughts because like I am shocked that it's not on your top 10. I want to hear more.
I would say, unfortunately, I left it off my top 10 list because all stemming from the fact that I got a PS5. If I didn't get a PS5, I'm pretty sure I would have had it either at 2 or at 1 for Silent Hill 2. But for me, I feel like I enjoyed it more seeing people who didn't experience the original. I enjoyed more watching people play the game, experience the game, and tell me how they felt about the game. Because I played it like when it first came out in the PlayStation 2 days, and that game was, I would say, like also for the first one, but these are the type of games where it's like psychological horror, and for two, it was at its highest peak. For the story itself, for what James has done, what he puts himself through, and what he hopes to get at the end. It's all up to interpretation, obviously, with all the many multiple endings. You can, whether the Konami themselves say this is canon for his story, or the player itself can say this is what I think would happen for James for his ending. But no, I enjoy the game immensely, and it was one of those things where it's like I had very little. Um, I was expecting very little from Bloober Team versus what's going on with Delta, and now it's obviously a full 180 switch, higher regards, higher praise for Bloober Team for what they did, especially for one of the successful entries into this series. You picked this one, or they picked it for you, however it went, and they took it, ran with it, and made it into what I would say a masterpiece.
So Johnny,
I agree.
did you play on Steam or did you just kind of watch stuff?
What?
Did you
For
play did you play Silent Hill like the remake at all, or did you just kind of like watch other people's reactions?
no,
The reason- Yeah.
I played it on the PS5.
Okay.
But like having the PS5 got me able to like play Silent Hill 2 faster versus trying to like hoping it works on the Steam Deck. Steam
Okay.
Deck's becoming like 50-50 now, where it's like it may fully work, it may not fully work. That
Mhm.
and I didn't want to spend the money on that going like, oh shit, I can't fucking play this game properly. But no, if I didn't have the PS5, I probably would make it work on the Steam Deck, and it would have been a different like entry point for me. Like it'd probably be like number one if I only had it on the Steam Deck. But no, I've watched other people watch it on Twitch and how they experience the game themselves, and like that on top of that with my own experience, like made it even more enjoyable for this one.
Mhm.
I think, like, in summary, for me, one of the biggest, like, stupid visual moments of this game that really kind of also roped me in that the developers are in on everything. Not in a way that like the writer wrote a good story. Like the people doing the set dressing are also doing little just jabs at what's going on. One of the few screenshots that I have from this game, um, Johnny, like there's that part where you go into the theater, and in the theater there's posters. And one of my I don't know why, like one of my favorite stories, like pieces of literature that we had read in stupid little high school English, was an occurrence at Owl Creek, where like it's just the soldier being hung and hanged. Sorry. And he envisions this whole escape and he thinks that he's finally getting out. And in the end, he's just still the man hanging and dies. And in the theater is a poster for a movie called The Return to Owl Creek.
Mm.
So it really helped that kind of, like Johnny, you had mentioned, like previous players, current players. I think The Return to Owl Creek is a perfect way to summarize the fact that James has been stuck in this loop because he keeps coming back to this place that killed him and or where he died or however you want to really iterate it. But like it was something so simple. I don't know, like if we'd never read this in high school, I'd never had any idea what the hell that reference was. But it just so happened to be the thing that I found the most impressive, stupid, again, high school reading, that it just kind of held on. So something so simple made it an already incredible game to me, kind of like, oh, point one player, just for having that reference, I guess. but also that reference tying together Silent Hill 2 entirely. So very good. Very good. Elliot, what's your number two? You bitch.
So, my
Oh,
number two.
oh you fuck you.
We're gonna have to
Tell it
wait
right now.
very. We're gonna wait
Fuck
very
you.
briefly to say it because my number two will probably be number one on one, if not both of your lists. My number two is Astro Bot. Is that higher on either of your lists?
Yes, you fuck.
Johnny, is that higher on your list?
Unfortunately, no. Shocking, right?
Okay, well, there's a shock. So, Johnny, let's talk about your number one then.
Okay, then I'm gonna tell you guys my number one, and then you're gonna be like, that doesn't count. But like, hold on. There's a reason why it's number one. Here we go, people. The Lake House.
Metal Gear Solid Delta hasn't come out yet. It doesn't count.
Uh, so that's my number one is the Lake House. Yes, it is a DLC. Remedy Entertainment.
Alan Wake 2 Lake House. No, that counts.
Yeah, it's
All
part of
right.
it.
All right.
And okay, I'll get to that point. Okay, you've taken the story of Alan Wake 2 for now for this DLC. If you were like me, I didn't play Alan Wake 2 when it first came out. So when I finally got the PS5 and I was able to play Alan Wake 2, I was able to download everything, and that was including the Lake House. And for that part, they did one of the parts that I truly enjoyed. They fully integrated the DLCs within the main story. So it felt like it was an extension of the main game. And for the Lake House, you're playing somebody who has no powers, no way to change the story. So you're FBC agent Estevez. You're investigating the lake house, the events. There's no one responding to this situation, and the lake house kind of like surmises around the world of Remedy. Like it was mentioned, like I believe in Control, and it mentioned. I'm trying to remember where else it was. It was mentioned. There was always a mentioning of the lake house, and for this one, it somewhat I feel like was graphically even better than the main game. Um, Controls still the same, but for the character itself, the weaponry was better. I feel like you could probably blast through this maybe like 2 3 hours, but if you wanted like basically scour around, look everywhere, up and down with each of the levels, you could probably stretch it out maybe between 4 to 6 hours. I chose as number one because it made the whole story complete. I don't know what it was like playing Alan Wake 2 before this came out, but it definitely like made it like more of a fuller, complete story. Um, I mean, it also kind of like feels like it kind of sets up the events of like for possibly maybe like Control 2 with Remedy. I don't know what that would look like, but story wise, I know it's supposed to be like I think within Manhattan and like I think they're doing like RPG elements, but like for this one, it solidifies as Alan Wake 2. I didn't get a chance to play it, so that's why I kind of like made it like the DLC within the story kind of like brings the whole of the entire game for as my number one.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, our
Mhm.
both Adam and I's number one last year was Alan Wake 2. So it makes sense to tie in, tying in the Lake House, and because this year was your first year playing Alan Wake 2 in general, right?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it.
Yeah, yeah. So that makes sense. Alan Wake 2 is incredible, and I have heard like the way, especially like someone else I had heard mention, like they do integrate it into the actual game in a good way instead of it just being
Hmm.
here's a completely side thing DLC. So I think that that's intriguing. I need to go back. I have the deluxe edition, so I have both this and Night Springs
Hmm.
that I can play. I absolutely need to. It's just one that keeps slipping my mind. I'm very excited to see what they continue to do with this, and in the whole Remedyverse. Yeah, I think that's an awesome number one pick. Like I had DLC on my top 10 list, so I think that that is completely and totally valid. Um, so, Adam, what are your thoughts? Oh, Adam's a listener. You definitely can tell that Adam walked away from his
He is speechless.
liquor. Yeah, he is speechless. He went, I think, to make another drink, so we kind of, there he is. Hello,
I
Adam.
would I would say for this one,
Well, I chimed in with a haven't you people ever heard of?
it was for the two DLCs. They're both beautifully integrated. Like for Night Springs, it is like random televisions that just turn on and say like it catches you and you see like the whole like kind of like Twilight Zone ish kind of spiral and you're like, what's that? Let me activate that, and then I'll tell you like it's Night Springs. Do you want to enter that? And for the Lake House, it's the story that Estevez is finally going to tell you, and it warns you, saying like, do you want to continue going through this? And so I think that's a great idea to like integrate it within the main stories.
I think that's like what could get me to go back and try and do this again because I never did it after they had done the big update that added like New Game Plus. So I think this would be a perfect thing to like redo that, like new content in a New Game Plus, which I know there already was, right? But like
Mhm.
if it's going to be now this thing added into it, that would be even cooler. What like I heard like the connections to Control 2, but like what is a thing that set sorry that set this DLC like apart? Like what makes the lake house kind of stand out more?
I think for me, it's the fact that you're playing a normal, actual individual person. Like, yes, this person has a background within this world, but they do not have like whatever Saga has, like the kind of like mind power.
Yeah.
They don't have the abilities of Alan Wake, where he can really just change the environment around them at his whim. So for this character, and you see it within like the gameplay, when you go to different levels, she will be like shook, she will be shocked, and she'll try to like talk herself down, like holy shit, this is fucking happening. I got to go through with it. I have to go forward because there's literally no one else that can possibly contain this situation. So I feel like for that alone, it's like it kind of puts you in there finally. It's like I'm an individual like has like no way to control the situation, to be just basically be thrown into it and just like to be pushed forward.
Like I didn't play much of it, and probably where I was when I felt that exact moment. Like when you first see these artsy fartsy things jump out and it's
Mhm.
just these weird ink monsters that you can't do anything against is where I felt incredibly powerless and like it was just kind of one of those other things that fell to the fact that other things had come out around it because as much as Alan Wake 2 was my game of the year last year, I kind of feel like I needed a break. Like I platinumed that fucking game, right? So I played a lot of Alan Wake 2. And as much as I love Alan Wake 2, like for something to this level and it's story heavy in the Remedy versus it is, I could have almost used a bit more of a breather.
Mm.
And you said you can finish this fairly quickly. I would be that asshole that does walk around and look at everything, which I feel again is like just the continuation of I needed a little more time. Like it's nothing against this and saying it needed more time to like bake in the oven. It's just Adam needed more time to bake in the oven, apparently. I don't mean that in a 420 kind of way. This is not the kind of game that I would like to play under those conditions. That sounds fucking terrifying. Um, but yeah, I'm here for it because if this fits as a nice interstitial between those two games, sign me the fuck up because I think as much as Alan Wake 2 has a lot of the Federal Bureau of Control, it never had enough that made me say like I can see how this leads into Al or like Control 2 or it could be another continuation of this series. So like if this does that, that's great. I'm here for their writing. Like playing this
Mhm.
game made me more, almost more than Control did, like made me more excited that they're going to do Max Payne 1 and 2. So I think, like Elliot said, like this being on your list is fucking great. Alan Wake 2 is a fucking great, phenomenal game. Like, even if you don't like third person shooters, if you don't like horror, like if you can kind of set that aside and play this thing, you are in for a fucking whirlwind of a mind fuck from the end. And like not like I'm oh my god, my mind's blown kind of way, but like it is so visually appealing, it's media breaking. Alan Wake 2 does all of the fucking things.
Sure. All right. Well, Adam, Mr. Cropes, what is your number one video game?
My number one is Astro Bot.
Hey,
And
that's awesome. My number two.
Astro Bot. And as much as like we've talked about loving this game on this podcast, and as much as I've talked about loving other games on this podcast, kind of in the same way that WWE 2K24 did, this made me feel a bygone era in such a way that is like partially forced, but also just kind of organically finds it. And that's what's so strange about this game. That's like product placement, the game, but it also feels better than anything than I've played before as like a third person platformer. So I fucking find this thing as a remarkable product for video games, for PlayStation, for anything that I've played since Nintendo. Like if I were to play this game on anything, it would have felt right. And it being as realized as the most modern fucking platformer ever, it excels.
I mean, it is incredible, and it is actually when we get to my number one. You guys have no idea what my number one is, but when we get to my number one, going back and forth, it was number one for so long after it came out. Astro Bot, like just how amazing it was, how much fun it was. Not even my style of game, like 3D platformers, not my style. Like I barely went through any of the Marios, things like that. But just this just hit at the right time, and people talked about it so much. And you know, as I've mentioned over and over again, my daughter became obsessed with this. She literally has an Astro Bot, a plushie. We listened to Astro Bot in the car. That Christmas level that came out, we went through it multiple times. It's incredible. I mean, it is the best game on PlayStation 5, in my opinion.
I think so.
The best PlayStation 5 exclusive, which these
Sure.
days, what does that mean? This and Demon Souls, I think.
Well, yeah.
But no, it's incredible. It shows what PS5 can do. I think it's hilarious that it looks so good and plays so good that this PS5 Pro that came out just doesn't have a different mode for it.
Right.
So, yeah, so good. I hope that they keep coming out with DLC. I kind of like that it's not like this huge roadmap. They're like, oh, we have a couple coming out, then they released them. So it's like, now it's kind of interesting. Like, I know they mentioned they had a couple DLCs coming out. Are they done now? Were the speed runs and the Christmas level it?
Holiday. Right.
More? It's going to be very intriguing to see, but I'm going to be there for it. Astro Bot in many other years would have been my number one.
Yeah. I think, kind of like you said, like, if this isn't the end of the DLC, I know that I had said previously, like, I would play a shitload of Astro Bots, kind of in the same way that I would play a ton of Indiana Jones games. Like, I would play a lot of Astro Bots. But almost if, like, they were to continue this on this game and just say every 3 to 6 months, here's a whole new world. Like, I would pay $5 to $10 for another world of this game. Like, give me 6 solid levels or 5 solid levels, whatever it was, and then put the nice little tiny PlayStation bow on it at the end. Like, I would continue to pay for those.
Yeah.
Speed running doesn't really speak to me. Holidays really don't. Whatever. I like that. I get it. That's a gimmick. Do whatever you want to do. Get player engagement up. But like, if they were to release full worlds and they were just as good as, say, like Slow-Mo Casino, or if they were even as good as Slow-Mo Casino, fucking sign me up. Because Slow-Mo Casino is one of those levels that in this game I was like, holy shit, they did something like this and they did it really well. Um, I think that level is just so good as a third person platformer with like the most basic mechanic of slow motion, but it nails that slow motion so good that it's like still challenging in the way that like you get a second or two to make your moves, but then you kind of have like that small recharge and you get to pop it again. And like that feels just as satisfying when you nail that slow mo jump. So that's kind of what I mean, like when this is the most modern realized 3D platformer, just because this had outdone a lot of other things that have done this just as well, but this has done it better. So that's the dumbest sentence that I could ever fucking say in my life. Um, but I think like if you were to look at Odyssey, this is the perfect thing to follow Mario Odyssey doing what that game did. So, and as much as they prevented themselves from saying the name of Nintendo during the Game Awards speech, we know where they came from in the same way that we know where we all came from when we started playing video games. So I guess whether you were Mario or Sonic, like this is the perfect finale for those kind of games if there were never another platformer to come out, which of course there will. Like, but this would be great.
Yeah, so
Elliot, I've never heard of your number one, so tell me what it is. Oh no, Johnny, sorry, let's talk about
Johnny,
Balatro. Or
well,
sorry, Astrobot and why it's not here.
yeah, why is Astro Bot not on your top 10, Johnny?
I mean, I think because it came like so late for me. Um, like again, like I found it was like the opposite. Like for my number one, um, being that like I got the PlayStation 5 like kind of late. Um, but like for Astrobot, it was like the most highly fun game I've played to date. It made me reminisce of my childhood playing Mario and just enjoying seeing all these like basically PlayStation IPs like kind of like live within this world. Being able to like see all the characters again made it even more enjoyable. Like especially for me, like seeing all the Metal Gear characters, but then also seeing like well here's like all the other like PlayStation characters we possibly may have forgotten through time. It's like Parappa the Rapper. Like I don't remember like the last time anyone's ever talked about Parappa the Rapper. And I mean, it's the one game I think they finally made the controller like fully usable as well. So you had a studio that like was gonna tug your heartstrings, and they were gonna make so much good use of the controller itself. This is the one that kind of like broke my heart to not put it in my list because I remember messaging you guys were like, yeah, there was something heartbreaking on it, and that was like for Astro Bot because I actually enjoyed the fuck out of it, and I enjoyed also the fuck seeing the amount of awards they won from the Keeley. So I'm hoping that like we get more with DLC. I'm hoping maybe we get a sequel. I'm also hoping that PlayStation just doesn't meddle with it. Just let them do what they do best.
I think it's funny that like for a game that had no story,
Mhm.
the finale of it finds itself to be this most heartbreaking thing that you've seen in video games. Like it's the most basic thing where like yes, spoilers, you kill your main character out of nowhere. But like being as childlike as Astrobot is, like that doesn't stick. But just kind of seeing that moment and the sad little bots all around, like was so neat, I think, for something that literally did not do anything else the rest of the time. Like there's no dialogue. The bots don't interact with each other in a way that makes you care for one another or anything like that. Like the most attachment that you have is when there's the level where like Big Brother is there. But for this and like Big Brother coming back and doing the Big Brother thing and like putting Astrobot back together, I think was a weird touch that I was not expecting.
Well,
Elliot,
so for the
what's
last,
your number one?
my number one is Balatro. So that will. Are you guys? So my question is, are you guys surprised Balatro is my number one? Did you think it was gonna be Balatro?
No,
No, not
no.
surprised at all.
So it was tough. In fact, like up until probably a couple weeks ago, Astrobot was my number one. But two things changed that. Like Balatro's fantastic, of course. Like I've talked about it so much on this
For
podcast.
listeners, he had to look over and shout Balatro at his wife.
Well, no, she knows. She knows. We went through this list, and I can get to that. But no, she was over there. She's not feeling too well. Um, but no, it's just like I don't have to go too much into just the game itself. Like it starts so simple and it builds and it gets so crazy. And I've played 80 hours on Steam, and then
God.
I can't even look at how many hours because the iPhone doesn't tell you how many hours you've played a game. So I don't have an estimate, but I know it's more than 80 hours. So I've probably played this game for 200 hours this year. Um, just that it is the perfect mobile game. It is just like low floor, high ceiling. Like I just texted you guys. One of the two things that happened was in the last couple weeks was I finally got into exponential numbers, which means that it's so big that it doesn't fit in the as so many digits. It doesn't fit in the little scoring area, so they have to use exponents. And I got one, and it ended up being I think I said it was 805 billion was what I got in one hand, and that felt so satisfying, just like finally getting there because that was my own goalpost for beating the game. It is not a beatable game. There's no end. I did see someone with like mods and stuff like that. They got it to where they could make it crash because they had such a high number. But that's like the most beat it's been so far. Um, but it's just a game that I pull out, in the morning when I'm like, if I'm like looking at my phone in bed, I might play a run, 4 times speed. It can go pretty quick. Just constantly. I play it at least still, it came out in February, and I would say the number of days I have not played around with Balatro since then, or at least played a little bit, is probably 10. Probably only not played it like
Jesus.
10 of these days. Um,
Yeah.
That might be a little bit more because when it was on Steam Deck, if I didn't have access, but definitely since it's been on phone, it's definitely been single digit days that I have not played it. And the second thing was over Thanksgiving, or over Christmas, I got my 16-year-old nephew to play it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he plays a lot of games. Um, and I told him about it, and he downloaded it, and it was so great seeing like back to the beginning, like seeing like he got excited. He's like, "Oh, I beat Annie 5. Like, can you believe I got one? One of my rounds was, or one of my hands was 100,000 points." And it's like just remembering how fun it was at the beginning, and that I'm so glad that I never did look up until way later, so not never but way later, look up like the correct thing to do, how to get so far. um Found it my own, and it is just like Balatro is one that 10 years from now it wouldn't surprise me if I still sometimes pulled it up and played it on my phone.
Sure.
um, it
Sure.
is never ending game. Like Local Thunk said that he is going to make some significant changes in 2025. He said it's not going to cost anything extra, but it'll be interesting to see. I wonder is if it is past when you get past the Annie 8 when you've beat the game, because at that point it kind of bottlenecks you in. That's like the one negative thing that people say. It's like it bottlenecks you in, where if you want to go really high, it's basically you have to look for one strategy, and that's my only negative of where I'm at right now. Is I'm always looking for specific cards, I'm always looking for a specific strategy, and it's just different wrinkles in that strategy that can get me further, and
Sure.
that's kind of where the end game is. And I'm not even like top level. Like I said, I got to exponential and I was like, oh, I'm done. But then I realized, oh, that's not even, I thought it was trillion. It's only hundreds of billions. It's like now I need to get to trillions. It's like my next goalpost. Um, it's an
All right,
amazing.
Dr. Evil.
Um, and why have billions when you could have trillions? Um, I actually talked to my wife some about it. She's like, "Oh, what are your top 10?" And I went through, and she was like, she was actually kind of mad that it was Balatro and not Astro Bot, because she's seen my daughter and I play Astro Bot so much, and she's
Right.
seen how much I've talked about it and played the music and like got my daughter the plushie, and that like playing with my daughter has been such a great thing. and that was like the first game we really attached to. But since then, we've branched out. We're playing other games, and she's liking other games and things like that. Um, so any other year, like, well, not any other year. I mean, I think if Astro Bot would have came out on Elden Ring's year, it also would have lost. But
Right.
most other years, Astro Bot would have been my number one. And honestly,
Sure.
like when that holiday level came out, I was like, oh, Astro Bot, definitely number one. And then the other things shifted, and it was just more thinking like, what does a number one mean for me? And it's kind of crazy to me that my top two, I never would have thought that my top two games would have zero story at all for my number one, like literally,
Right.
and then like very, very minimal because I'm so story heavy. Like the rest of my list, most of the rest of my list has so much story. So
Right.
it's definitely featured there. But yeah, Balatro, what a game.
Yeah.
What a fucking game.
I think, like, on my list, I mildly did a disservice to Balatro because earlier today, Balatro was number 5. But also, yeah, but also, like, I thought about how much the other games, and again, like, this is where I do a disservice because Balatro, like, exceeded expectations. But I think where the other ones landed, like Clear the Spotlight or Crow Country, like, they all landed higher because they met my expectations, which I think sometimes for games that you're looking forward to can be hard these days unless you're completely in. Um, but Balatro, like Eliot, like this is the kind of game that I will pop up and play if I wake up before my wife, if my wife falls asleep before I do, if the kids and my wife are watching weird fucking 90 Day Fiance that I really don't care to watch, or if I'm sitting at like a athletic fucking thing for the kids and there's a little break, like I'll pop up and play some Balatro. I was not the poker player. I don't play deck building games, but in so many ways, this is just a video game as a video game. Like as much as it feels like you're playing poker, it still feels like you're playing a video game. Like numbers go up, you do minor stat boosts, you create your deck in a way that is just as simple as it could be. You change maybe this thing has hearts instead of diamonds, or you make something have its own little, I don't know, special ability like giving you more money. I did not expect to finish Annie 8 as fast as I did, but that did not like keep me from playing more. At that point, I still feel like I didn't beat the game. Like Eliot said, like it's endless. But even at 8, like I still got fucked over at 9. So I know there's still more game for me to play. I think its visuals like are so like stupid, and the fact that like the cards look like cards, but especially now if you play with the friends of attack, like DLCs, not really, like they're just free updates. Like I've got Stardew Valley sets of cards and shit like that. Like it's just a fun little neat thing that local thump made. And I hope the update is they're just gonna be like, now it's Jack, fuck you. Or they're just gonna be like, it's roulette, it's a different game, fuck what you like.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like I think it was fun. I think this is one of those games I won't play for decades, but kind of like Eliot said, like this game is so timeless that you could play this 10 years from now, and it will feel like you're playing it today. And if it doesn't, then the developer fucked up. But like something like this is just something that you can continue to play until you're done playing video games, I guess. You can be on your deathbed playing Balatro.
All right. Well, do we want to do our, if we have anything that just missed the top 10, any shout outs, anything like that?
Right. Johnny, I think you said that you don't have a number 11. Do you have a number 11?
No honorable mentions on my end.
All right.
All right. My number 11 was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This got booted off when I finished this today. And the only thing working against it is how much I just don't remember moment to moment of this game. That doesn't mean that it's not great. That doesn't mean that it's not worth playing. It's just that it came out kind of in that February, like January period where everything else just overshadows it. But this is what a Metroidvania should feel like. I think the growth of not only the character through the story, but the growth of the character and the powers that he gets was so good. And I know it's got that feature where like you can take a picture and go back. When I played, I know that there's like an update now where you can actually fast travel between whack whack trees. But at that point, like going through this whole map was such a fucking nonsense thing to ask that I didn't go back to so many parts of it. Um, the air dash is good. Like the basic things that you can say about Metroidvanias are there. The coolest power that you get in this, I think, is the one where you make a shadow of yourself and like you kind of fast travel or like you do the dash through a thing and your, former self is still there. Like it's all very basic powers, but the game is so fluid that you'd almost expect this to kind of do the thing that most Metroidvanias, especially one with a Prince of Persia name would do, like go back and do that 16-bit art style that I'm glad that it wasn't that. It made it feel like kind of like Alan Wake 2 or some of these other games. Like it's that evolution of this old thing that's now Astro Bot in a Metroidvania is almost what Prince of Persia feels like. It's just a some of its parts.
All right. Do you want to do your other, or do you want me to do my number 11?
Do your number 11 real quick.
Okay, so my number 11, my just missed. And this was actually the one that was number 10 until I replaced it with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right before we recorded, is Persona 3 Reload. And that was such a good game. Came out, this summer, and it is like quintessential summer game for me. I'm a teacher, so I have a lot more time just to play like nonsense or like monotonous games in the summer.
Play a student is what a teacher would do in the middle of
Yeah,
summer. That makes the
exactly.
most sense.
Exactly. And that is the biggest thing that brings it down is the monotony. The days are pretty monotonous. The dungeon is pretty monotonous, but the story's fantastic. The gameplay is great. Turn-based combat. If it would not have been for Metaphor Refantasio, and or if I would not have played that, it probably would have been a lot higher. But after playing Metaphor, being like, oh, this is what this kind of combat could be, because they're very, very similar combats. It's just like Metaphor does everything better. So it's almost not fair to take one game and knock another one so much because of how good that other game is. But when it's like so comparable Metaphor to a Persona game, I can't help but be like, compare them. Like Persona, if I can't look in a crystal ball and be like, pretend you don't know anything about Metaphor, but I could have seen it being like close to a top 5 if I would have been ignorant as to how good Metaphor was.
What kept this on your list, like on your list instead of off your list? Sorry, instead of like a dragon.
Oh, like why was Like a Dragon on the list and not Persona? Because Like a
Yeah,
Dragon is
that's
just
definitely what I said.
um, Persona 3. So, well, Like a Dragon was way high on my list. Are you talking about Final Fantasy or just Like a Dragon? Like,
Like a dragon. Like
okay,
if metaphor was that high, like what kept Persona from being higher than like a dragon?
okay. So, Like a Dragon is just um, the busy work, the moment to moment of Like a Dragon was just a lot more fun. Um, like the stories were probably comparable. Like a lot of stuff between Persona 3 Reload and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth actually could be comparable. Combat was just about as fun, both of them. But it is just like like at a certain point on Persona, I just got so sick of the dungeons and the repeated, and like the side stories. Like the stories themselves were really good, but like you will go and you'll meet with somebody and you'll have no idea if you're actually going to get story, or if you're going to get one text that says like, oh, maybe next time I hang out with them, the feeling is going to increase, or the bond's going to increase. Metaphor got rid of that. It's like when you meet with someone, their bond is going to increase. You're going to get a story. So just little things where
Sure.
it's like it makes me so excited how good this is, music-wise, stuff like that. This blows Metaphor's music out of the water. Persona 3's music is so damn good. Persona 5's music was incredible. Actually, Metaphor, I thought that was where it was kind of a little bit lacking. But yeah, I'm very excited for Persona 6 whenever they do announce that, because the 1-2 punch of Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor from those teams this year is just awesome.
Eventually, I'll play one all the way through, but probably not.
No, you won't.
My number 12, I won't. My number 12 is Life is Strange Double Exposure. And if I had finished 1000 Times Resist today or yesterday or anytime, since it released, it would have been on my list, causing this to be much higher. And I think the one thing that Life is Strange has over 1000 Times Resist. Welcome to the podcast where we very much compare games that have nothing to do with one another, but I'm going to make it make sense. Is like 1000 Times Resist is that walking simulator that doesn't feel good but has the great story, where Life is Strange Double Exposure is the walking simulator that feels great but has a story that loses its way. And my comparison come the end of this game, and I told Eliot I'm not gonna say who, what, when, where, why, but my comparison with this franchise now, if they continue to tell Max stories, is this is basically going to become the X-Men in a way that I could very much be here for if they do it right. So if one character has powers, like this is the thing about a lot of these fantasy or like sci-fi stories, right? Like if one character has powers, why is she or why are they the only ones that have power? And this game by the end kind of asks that question in a way that could really change Life is Strange as a franchise. The other thing that really helps this game is just the human interaction between these characters. Is that Max cares about everybody on a level, but not everybody cares about him, or not everybody likes the way that Max is. And the things that you do, you feel how you let other people down in only a way that one of these choose your own narrative kind of games can do. But Max as a character is kind of so stupidly innocent. Like, I don't even want to say naive. Like, she is one of those that's just like, oh, you mean me? I would never do this. And it makes her kind of one of the funniest characters to play as, because you just kind of go along with it. Like, yeah, nobody would believe that Max would do this. But it's good. I think the art style is not great. This is not the way I wanted Max to come back, because this is that same complaint that I had forever ago. The True Colors style does not fit Max, nor the kind of stories that Max should be telling as a character. But could this be lower on my list? Fucking definitely. Like it's so dumb come the end. Like I said what the fuck so many times just because some of these things don't make sense. There's one part of it that definitely had me aggravated as a player, nearing what should have felt like more of the final like quarter of the game, or final fifth, I guess. I'm sorry. But overall, Life is Strange is such a weird, impactful thing, being a part of that, like era of life that we all lived through in high school or college or whatever, or growing up. And this is Max growing up in ways that just don't fucking fit any fucking part of that come the end, but it tries to, like it tries to have a rally cry by the end that just doesn't land, but it's the other twist that definitely helps it. So who the fuck knows? Eliot, I'm very curious to see how you feel about this come the end.
Yeah, so I texted Adam today. I just finished. I have this. I got it through the library. like literally it just became available over Christmas, or else I would have played this earlier. I just finished chapter three of five. So I'm on that arc of people, everyone that's talked about it has said, the first two chapters are amazing. And then, like the last three kind of go crazy. I'm really digging it at the end of chapter three. Kind of a twist at the end of that kind of like, oh, okay, interesting. Is it what the character perceives, or is there actually something more at play here? Um, yeah, I'm gonna probably finish it in the next couple days. Like yesterday, literally, I thought about like staying up super super late last night and then trying to get a lot done today because it's winter break for me. But I think I'm just gonna do an episode a day um, over the next couple days to finish it up. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes because I've heard some people actually don't mind the ending. Like IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Um, some people absolutely, absolutely hate the ending. So I'm interested to see where I land on that. So, Johnny, do you think is that something you would play? Have you ever played any of the Life is Strange?
I was gonna say I haven't played any of them. It is something that it does like tickle my fancy. Like I probably will like play or get to it eventually.
I would say, like, definitely. I bet the original Life is Strange is probably pretty reasonable. And I texted Adam, like, right when I started playing Life is Strange True Colors, because got it from the library for PS5. Not True Colors, Life is Strange Double Exposure. I was like, man, I wish that I was playing this on Steam Deck because it is a great game for Steam Deck. That's not a knock for it by any means. I think it's just like there's nothing like crazy graphically, anything like that. It's a great looking game, I think, but like I would like to. It's a chill game, very very chill. It's a lot of time like last night when I was finishing, I was literally like making a decision, putting the controller down, and like eating a snack while watching it, almost like movie style. So
Like I know that I made the CW comparison before, and the first Life is Strange is very and a lot of double exposure is that as well. But I feel like as much as Max has grown as a character and the change in developers like kind of shifted what kind of story these games would tell. Like this feels like a more adult kind of thing. Like Fear the Spotlight and Life is Strange, the original, have very much the same kind of twist to them. Like a teacher that shouldn't be doing what they're doing with students kind of level, which again is like that very CW-esque kind of thing. And come the end of this, like it does have self-harm, and it does have betrayals, and it does have all of those same kind of CW-esque things. But I think here, like the motivations behind the characters and what they're aiming for is enough of a difference than just teacher bad, don't do bad thing. So, like, don't get me wrong, of course, like sexual harm is nothing to shirk at. But sometimes in these tales where it's based in a school and you know where the twist is going, that twist never excels. And that, as much as it doesn't feel rote, it does feel on a level like you could have done something different. You could have made this not really playing on a it factor, but kind of a higher level. Because if you go for that it factor, you feel like you're just kind of going for what's going to draw emotional resonance, where this does something a little different.
yeah. All right. Well, my number 12, my last kind of shout out, honorable mention is one that when I played it, I really thought it was going to be on the list. And then when it went down to like, looking, I was like, oh, there's just not a spot for that. And that is Thank Goodness You're Here. I just, recently talked about it, and I know Adam, you just finished it, so it's very fresh in your
Yep.
mind. But it's such a funny game. It is like such a good 3-ish hour experience. Like I don't regret playing it at all. Like it's a great game, and I think just like thinking of it, it was just like not any real detriment because I don't think they were trying to do more than they were. I think it was just like it was great for what it was. Humor was great. I do like going back through the same area and seeing the changes and stuff. It was just what kept it off the top 10 for me is other games. Like other games that just resonated more with me. It was really fun. It was really like made me laugh. Some of the gags were just like made me laugh so hard I cried. Like the guy with the big head, his story, hearing his backstory is like so
Too
funny
big. I can't keep pretending.
and so heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah.
Like really like almost made me tear up. And then Adam, did you get the reference of the very awkward sexual encounter with the two people that you don't even know who they are? Did you get that part?
What's the reference?
Where it's like you're in the background and there's just like a married couple in a room
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
I don't even think you know who these people are. It's
No, you don't.
but no, it's so good, it's so funny. The ending is actually pretty solid. It gets musical.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great game. I'm glad I played it. But I will. There's no reason for me to ever go back. That's one. It's like I experienced it. Move on.
It's number 15 on my list. And truly the only thing that held it back is the same complaint that I have for Thousand Times Resist. While yes, as much as like there's a lot of changes in these areas, you're still just like going through the same place so many times, and they're so confusing sometimes on like how to get back and forth. So, like I said, the one thing that that game needed was just a little reminder on the pod screen. Um, Comedy is right there, and I know that a lot of others like have said that comedy in video games is hard, and it is because it feels very forced. Like you either are South Park is a video game, like the Stick of Truth, or you are the Toy Story original Toy Story bloopers that play during the credits. Like you're either going for straight comedy gags or those kind of gags. And I think this lands somewhere in the middle where it just naturally comes to it. But there's a lot of visual gags that I feel like really relied on being a video game.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that you jump out of something. There's the one apartment that you crash into about 4 or 5 times and just throw dust out of the chimney,
Causing the
and
guy
the
to
guy
have
gets
a
more.
nervous breakdown.
Yeah, like you just cause this guy to clean more and more, and come the end, he feels so defeated that he's just like, "I'll get you a key." And I think that that kind of shit really works for it. That finale song, man, like just going back and forth between chopping and hitting the like cuckoo clock was just so good. I wish I could remember moments of the song, but it was so like fast paced and just joke after joke that it's impossible to.
Yeah. Have you heard about the spoilers? Have you heard about the secret ending?
No.
So it very actually Far Cry 5 like at the beginning of the game, the secretary tells you, "Hey, wait here. If you wait for 15 minutes, the mayor of the town comes out and goes, 'Thank goodness you're here,'" and then it rolls credits.
Hell yeah. All right, that's good.
Yeah. So
I do also love like how defeated the protagonist is by the end, where he's just done.
yeah, he's like, "These people are crazy," but.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to go through and relist from 10 to 1? Each one of us go around and relist our games.
We probably should. Johnny, 10 to 1. Oh,
I had to get my papers. Am I just going right through the whole entire one?
Yep, 10 to 1.
yep.
All right, here we go. My number 10 was Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Number 9, Harry Potter, Quidditch Champions. Number 8, Little Kitty Big City. Number 7, Under a Star Long Cold. Number 6, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Number 5, Where the Big Boys Play, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 4, Indica. Number 3, Balatro, which was usurped and given the supreme title under Eliot's guide. Number 2, Helldivers 2. And number 1, The Lake House, to completely solidify Alan Wake 2.
All the way to hell of a game.
Yeah.
All right. My number 10, Balatro. Number 9, WWE 2K24. Number 8, Pro Country. Number 7, Fear the Spotlight. Number 6, Helldivers 2. Number 5, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Number 4, Mouthwashing. Number 3, Indica. Number 2, Silent Hill 2. Number 1, Astro Bot.
And mine, number 10, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Number 9, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. Number 8, Tactical Breach Wizards. Number 7, Helldivers 2. Number 6, Thousand Times Resist. Number 5, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That was the only one I think that any of us had in common. Adam and I
Yeah.
both put that as our 5. Number 4, Like a Dragon Infinite Well. Number 3, Metaphor Refantasio. Number 2, Astrobot. And number 1, not with a bullet, but number 1 is Balatro. All right.
Solid list, boys.
It was a
Also,
good year for games.
yeah, it was. Under a Star Long Cold is a $1.49 on Steam right now.
There you go. It's super cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 2024 I think was a really good game, like year for games. Almost as good as 2022. Like right there with last year. I think next year is going to be very frustrating for our times and wallets, but I am very glad with where 2024 landed. And come the end, like after finishing, thank goodness you're here, I finished 15 2024 games. So of course, keep in mind, like a lot of these things were 3 or 4 hours, but I had finished more games than I did last year. Like I think there's a year or a better game out of um, Legend of Zelda, and maybe there's a time where I go back to Star Wars Outlaws, but 2024 nonetheless was fucking great.
Yeah, I think the two that could come back for me and, retrospectively take a shot at the list is Life is Strange, Double Exposure, and then Dragon Age, the Veilguard. What did that end up on your list, Adam? Veilguard.
We're not great. Let's see. 21.
Okay, and
21 out of 29.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
And that's a game I finished.
I didn't rank all 20. I said 27. I actually have played 28 games because I had forgotten about A Little Kitty Big City. Yeah, I think it'll probably be higher for me just knowing I like those kind of games more than you historically, but that's one I definitely want to go back and play. But yeah, I just think it was definitely it was interesting that a lot of the games that were on our list were not huge ones. Like looking at my list, like I had Final Fantasy VII, I had Indiana Jones, I had Elden Ring, and I had, I guess you could consider Astro Bot and Like a Dragon, but even like those are a little bit smaller. Lots of indies, lots of different opportunities. So one thing I think will be fun, everyone, what do you predict your game of the year for 2025 will be? And why is it Grand Theft Auto 6?
Right. Yeah.
No, I don't
think
Grand Theft Auto 6. I think it might not come out next year. So
yeah. I think if it does and the story actually works, like it probably would be.
yeah.
That's the easiest thing to say about it. If Replaced actually works for me, and knowing how long we've waited to play Replaced, and if it nails that story, like I could see that being pretty high, just because I think not only on a visual level, but like the basis of combat also would probably work for me. I can see that being high on my list.
Johnny, what about you? What do you think?
Man, what game I want it to be, but it's
Yeah.
probably not going to be is. I'm not even throwing Delta because I don't even know when the fuck that's going to come out. Supposedly has a PS5 Pro enhancement shit to it. You know what? With all the delays and everything, I'm curious to see if maybe possibly it'd be like Assassin's Creed. That's
Sure.
what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking they're retooling and they're fixing the things that like they don't want to make the mistakes of the past for.
Oh, another one I could see is Ghost of Yotai.
Mm.
Ghost of Tsushima is so dang good. Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, actually, I think that that has a good chance of, even if GTA 6 does come out, Ghost of Yotai. I mean, I really like Ghost of Tsushima, so we'll see. But
Yeah.
all right, well, we did it, boys. We said our games of the year, and you guys were both incorrect when you didn't choose Balatro, so that was uh,
Yeah. Um, I believe I posted on Twitter my game of the year list, so you can actually see straight through. Numerically, I did throw some words behind every vote. You will also find that my actual game of the year in there is Disco Elysium. It just didn't come out this year, and I was too fucking stupid to play it when it first fucking came out. Um,
what's interesting. Like, you played the complete edition, right? With like
yeah,
voice acting and stuff. So yeah, because that only came out what, last year? What?
I think it was 2 years ago. I can't remember. Yeah, because I've had it on Switch for a couple years now, so I don't know if it was 2021 or 2022.
When they did the full thing. Yeah, I have it on Steam Deck.
Yeah,
It's something I played like, because isn't it over the course of a few days?
yeah, yeah. It's like 7, 8 days or some shit like that. It's not very long.
I think I played the first day and I really enjoyed it, but I think it's one that you definitely had to think about quite a bit when you're playing it. And I can't remember why, but it just wasn't, when I played, I wasn't in the mood for that.
The puzzles in it are so weird, and by puzzles I mean like actually just rooting out where they're telling you to go. So this game does have an objective marker and sometimes does have a very helpful map, but it's one where you need to know names and street names and locations and motivations and times. So there's a lot to keep track of there. But I don't know why it didn't work for me then. I don't know why it worked on me now. I just fuck, man. I think everybody should play Disco Elysium at this point, especially play a character that follows through with the cryptozoologist storyline and just keep going. So, fuck yeah, play it. But yeah, my Twitter, we'll say it at Mr. Cropes. You will find my giant bomb list there that has, again, all the games from 2024 ranked on there. You'll also find my best of 2024 movie list. And to the surprise of no one, Dune Part 2 is at the top. And there were maybe a few things that could have edged it out, but I think that was such a fucking feat to see in IMAX, and that really holds strong. So,
well, you haven't seen Wicked yet, so
that's true.
hey, as of recording, Wicked comes out on digital tomorrow on the 31st. So
It's fucking insane.
I'm buying it tomorrow. I'll lend you my login, Adam. It's fine.
That's
yeah,
right.
I don't know. I haven't posted it anywhere. I haven't ever really posted. I've made a game of the year list to show like Adam and stuff like that. Just now, but who knows? Maybe I will post it. If I do, I'll let you guys know. Maybe John can retag me. Yeah, this was really fun. I did some definite surprises. I thought that it was going to be a little bit. There were some things that were going to miss,
right?
Like that. So I think my biggest surprise for each of you was Adam. I'm surprised you didn't have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Really happy with it. And then Johnny, I don't know, Silent Hill and Astro Bot, those both got me for you. I thought those were going to be your one and two.
Yeah.
I get it. I love your number one.
Gotcha. And if everyone wants to find me, it's Johnny Flores Jr. on every single entire social media platform. Google has me with no host, no AI overview. I think Google has told me to shut the fuck up and leave them alone after I harassed them for like close to about a month now. But yeah, you can find the podcast Million Resurrections on every single podcasting platform other than YouTube Music, because Google doesn't know how to fucking work. And also onlyfans.com/Metal Gear Resurrections, where I may possibly do a naked dance interpretive of the top 10 games. Who knows?
That would be worth paying to see.
And this has been an episode of Maker's Directions for the top 10 games of the year for 2024. Yeah.